Hi, and welcome to Lizards and Locations, where we're doing Session 1 of Campaign Redacted. I don't know why I cover my face when I do that. It's just a funny thing to do.
I like it.
Thank you. Last time on Campaign Redacted, we had our intrepid adventurers come back from a trip to Andersville where they dealt with some unsavory characters. They came back, they did a little bit of a tussle with some kobolds and the robber baron's forces along the road with a forest fire in the backdrop. They defeated both parties, essentially. Decided to leave, went back when they realized that they left the forest fire going, took care of the forest fire, found the robber barons set up camp, and it was pretty much destroyed, but they did end up finding the robber baron's notebook, which denoted a strange occurrence where a large mechanical golem was sighted and then disappeared, so seemingly from nowhere. And they went back to Cliffhaven, where the captain of the guard, Caloran, was waiting for their reports. Once they were able to deliver those reports, they were given free reign for the night. They decided that, hey, why not get absolutely wasted? And so they did. After a riveting game of Liar's Dice, Giannis was the victor. I'm not sure what he won, but he won something. Some money.
He won the power of friendship because we bribed him to play.
He won the power of friendship, and then everyone else got laid, which was interesting.
Yeah, Jarvis did not get laid. By choice.
Well, in any case, it is now about 7 a.m. the next day. This is the time where the Pillars of Bahamut are expecting them to report in so that they can make their way north up to Ravendale. And I'm going to leave it all to you guys to take free reign and see what you guys want to do.
Well, I woke up early.
Did you? Are you sure?
I have a strict schedule that I abide by.
May I remind you that last night you were plowed by somebody who got a 20 on their athletics check.
Listen, I woke up early with legs shaking.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
First roll!
First roll!
Natural 20!
Wow!
Holy shit!
Champ. What a start. What a start to
I do
a
my
podcast.
fucking
First roll of the fucking podcast.
katas. I go out there, I do my forms. I am a fucking precedented, organized, studious woman. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, the noises y'all were making last night, everyone who sees you is amazed. Thoroughly impressed. No way that they can be like, oh my god.
They know his name, they don't know mine.
They know your name. You guys have gotten quite the reputation.
No, I
at
was just
Cliffhaven.
joking.
Whisper.
No, the neighbors know your name.
Oh, everyone knows both of y'all's name at this point.
That's the neighbors know my name.
Alright, so Whisper is out in the yard doing her forms with her rapier. Probably with a few onlookers just like muttering to themselves like, oh shit. It's pretty good, it's pretty good. She's out and about. Anybody else?
Giannis has already been awake. He, at this point, has started taking from yesterday's earnings, moving aside into his alms box.
I have a question for Giannis.
Yeah.
How often does he drink?
How often does he drink? Like in general? Quite often. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not opposed to drinking or anything.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. It's just a different drinks, and he's used to from where he's from.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
so that would be the biggest change.
From underwater drinks.
Yeah, a little different there. But yeah, so he's going through and he's, he wakes up super early and he's already starting to put his earnings from what you guys paid him. He's putting them into his alms box. The 10% that he always
his gambling winnings are going into the alms box.
Yeah, well, 10% of what he always does. He always puts his tithe,
okay.
essentially.
Right. So that ends up being about 10 gold or so?
I made 75 gold.
75 gold. Right?
Yeah, so
7 gold and 5
5
silver.
Yep.
There you go. Excellent.
Well, he's still in his room.
Were Addie's companions up for another go in the morning?
You've got 2 extremely hungover sailors, and you have Forrest draped over both of them. So I don't think and none of them look like they're ready for anything.
Wait, just a second. Would cure disease help with that?
No, none of them are sick. Hopefully. As far as you know, anyway.
You tell us.
That's a good point. You tell us if they have.
No, I'm into the drinking.
They got that pussy.
No, that's detect poison.
No, I guess Forrest.
Lesser restoration.
Pussy fever.
Lesser restoration. What do you want to do with them?
Make them less hungover.
You would have. I believe you would have to cast that on each one.
That's true. It's a lot.
So you could absolutely do that if you wanted to.
Can I use virtue to give them extra hit points so they feel invigorated and want to go for another round?
Keep in mind too, every time you're casting something, there is
That's
a very
fair
real
point.
chance that something goes
That's a
horribly
really
wrong.
good point.
So this is a risk that you're taking for whatever it is you're trying to do
Fine,
here.
I'll just get up and have breakfast beer.
Now, keep in mind, this is a port, so there's always people in the bar. So if you really are still randy, you could find somebody.
I don't want to pick somebody up.
Okay, that's fine.
Just if they were there.
Okay. So you're down in the bar then.
I don't want to pick somebody up.
You
but
can
if I
hear
could pick somebody up.
No, like if they were in bed with me already.
you can hear from outside the sounds of Whisper
I see.
practicing, and you can hear the mutterings of some people that are watching her.
Well, how long did she practice? Because I probably didn't wake up that early.
Excuse me. I was under the impression that Whisper did that pretty much for like
For a long time?
for a while, every morning.
You know, whatever it takes to get through some katas, beat the shit out of a dummy, shower.
Because what time would you say that you wake up then?
I mean, not 6 a.m., but probably not past 10.
That's a very large window that you've given me here.
It's actually besides 4 hours.
So what do you think? What is when is Whisper doing this? You guys can come
I
come
think
to
she's done
terms
by
with
9.
this. By 9. So you definitely hear that.
What time you wake up, probably?
Or 6.
Yeah.
I'd say
Addie
Jean
does
puts
not
at 7.
do that.
So Jonas, you can also hear her, but you're still up in your room. You're doing your prayers or whatever.
Praying, all that shit.
You know, that paladin bullshit, whatever. That lame stuff.
Are
Alright,
religious people meant to pray?
Yes. You could say that.
Not for me. Not my thing.
Des, what are you doing?
Des is up when the sun's up.
Okay, so you're about 7:38.
Yeah, roughly around that range. Wake up, go have some breakfast, and yeah, that's about it, pretty much.
Alright, so you're gonna go out
Well,
down.
simple.
What kind of breakfast you want?
Oh, you know, your standard fare, just eggs and bacon, whatever. Coffee.
Breakfast bit?
Whatever coffee.
Okay, get it. You know, a modest meal of eggs. How do you like your eggs, sir? How do you like your eggs, sir?
Most important question of the day.
I like them over hard. Because I don't trust like that.
Henley kind of gives you like a all right, kind of like does over, chops up some bacon, puts it over there, gives it over to you like, here you go, and then it has a cup of black coffee next to you, and he charges you silver for it.
Perfect. Good start to a day.
Nice bit of protein.
I forgot to mention Whisper's breakfast. She has a couple of soft-boiled eggs.
A couple of software those probably also that'd probably be 5 copper. Eggs are cheap. Soft-boiled eggs is like the laziest way to cook eggs, so...
You have to do it just right.
Otherwise, they're hard boiled.
Right, but it's still simple. You just kind of put it in water. And then take it out of water.
They don't have timers in medieval times.
And they have magic. So...
They were using magic to boil eggs, but it was weird that I wanted to cure hangovers? Damn.
I didn't say it was weird. I said, are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
It's actually probably extremely common to do that. I'm just saying they
Do
probably
you
do.
want to do that?
It's probably they probably go to a forest to do that, and then the forest has like an IV bag or an IV drip that they use.
You know, when he wakes up.
He's probably gonna need one when he wakes up too, because he got blasted.
Yeah, he did.
He's also very small, so it doesn't take much.
No.
All right. Well, in that case, Des, you're still in the tavern. Whisper's probably coming back in at about 8:39.
Fresh.
Okay.
Poised. Just.
Is that after you took a shower and all that?
Yeah.
And bathe and all that stuff? Okay, that's fine. So what do you guys want to do? You guys have started the day. They start up at 9 a.m.
I'll say Jonas comes down around 8.
Okay.
Say he wakes up around 7, goes through his hour-long ritual, and then he comes downstairs and finds a seat next to Des at the tavern.
Morning.
Des, how did you sleep?
About the same as I always do. How about you?
Is that good?
Just gentle night terrors.
Did you say good morning?
You got me there.
For me, it is good morning. Good morning.
Good morning for you, Jans.
Good morning.
Oh my gosh, you're here too, Whisper.
Hello. I'm surprised you didn't hear me.
Oh, we heard.
Surprised you didn't see her coming, considering that she wears like shining silver metal, like ching 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 ching. She is not stealthy.
You're a menace. Do we know what time we're supposed to leave today? Are we leaving today?
From what was implied, you were expected to leave today with the Pillars of Bahamut.
We're to meet Ace today, correct?
That was the plan, at least.
We're traveling to Ravendale?
Sounds right.
Yes. I finally came down the stairs and agreed with you.
What a great timing.
That's right.
Well, if you're all finished up, I think we should go meet our appointment.
Are you finished? This morning did not sound so.
Oh, none of my companions were up for any activities. Apparently, they don't hold the liquor very well.
You gotta get those smelling salts.
That's an idea.
After a couple minutes, you do see Forrest stumble down, like both hands on a guardrail. Just like
I toast him with my breakfast beer.
he kind of looks at you. He's just like, and he's like kind of like he is still drunk, clearly, and so he's just like going down, slowly going behind the bar, and you hear him kind of like clink, 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 and then he pops back up. He's like, okay, morning.
Good morning, friend.
What time is it?
Des is gonna reach into her duster, be like, little hair of the dog.
God, no, never shows me ever again, thank you.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
It was great. Never showed me ever again, thank you. And like you can see, he's like has more energy, but he's still kind of like waving back and forth. Like the alcohol is still there. He is just kind of
But
like.
you know, if you drink more alcohol, you'll feel better.
Let me go back on my training on how that works. No, I don't think that's how it works. I
I'm
think
a
I mean
doctor,
instead.
you should really trust me.
I'm behind her going,
I think I'm okay, thank you. I should really, and he kind of like looks around for to try and gauge where the shadows are along the street. He's like, okay, I need to go to work. He's like, it was nice seeing you all. Thank you for the night. It was crazy. And then he just runs away.
See you!
You fantastic too.
Well, ain't you a spring chicken?
He can't hear you. He is out the door. You hear him kind of like as he looks over to where his store is. There may be a line waiting for him to show up. Anyway, that was Forrest. Exited stage right.
Sweet boy.
Fantastic entry.
That's she's.
Wow.
So those eggs over hard. Do you like them that way?
Do you like them that way?
No.
How do you like your eggs? Do you
I'm,
like eggs?
I'm what you call a basic scramble.
Basic
Wait.
eggs.
You hear Henley in the back like, scrambled eggs, you say? And he scans you some scrambled eggs.
Thank you kindly. How much?
Oh no, on the house.
Ah, that is so kind of you.
From what I've heard, you've given more than that and then some.
That is much
So please,
appreciated.
please.
Starts eating.
Can I get you anything else? Some juice, maybe some bacon?
Bacon and juice would be great.
So you all go.
You
That's one over there?
Eat
Takes about-
chicken eggs. Thought you were more of a fish egg kind of guy.
That is cannibalism. That is joke. I'm just kidding.
And he comes back with his juice and
Oh my god,
and
you
bacon.
can't just ask people if they eat chicken eggs.
Can you scramble fish eggs?
Mean girls
I
reference.
I don't think that's how that works.
I was more referring to roe.
You can mash it, maybe. Where it would be raw.
Yeah.
I say scramble.
I figured he'd be more of a caviar guy.
Caviar.
Caviar on the biscuit.
Hard
you
time.
damn kids and your caviar and your biscuits.
Our boy Sean,
You can
Caviar.
afford a
Hard
house if you gave that shit up.
our boy Sean, his mother doesn't understand why they kill a fish. and
Yeah.
Is caviar biscuits the avocado toast
Yes.
of Haven?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
You
Or is it
know?
of Andersville?
Yeah.
Andersville's finest caviar.
Yeah, Andersville's
Why
finest
would-
caviar.
why
Quote unquote caviar.
Yeah, why would they have caviar? Do they have water?
The one.
No.
We don't do biscuits and gravy. We do biscuits and caviar.
Again, quotation marks in the caviar. It's like the crab with quotation marks in a K.
Crab with a K.
That's how you know it's fake, apparently.
Apparently.
The most spaghetti western town using caviar.
I put it on
Andersville's
all my
finest.
sandwiches. A little
It's
bit
just
of
egg
Is
yolks.
that apple butter? No, it's caviar.
make it with
Yeah,
some whiskey
It
butter.
ends up being like some kind of weird congealed like chicken egg white.
Oh god. Oh, no.
Nope.
That's how we start the day.
Oh, fucking century eggs.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Could be worse. It could be Rocky Mountain oysters.
Could be Rocky Mountains.
Those are literally testicles, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I just want everybody to be on the same page.
At the same time, like, what would those taste like?
Testicles.
Maybe.
Got
You know, you've got a point. I think I'd try it once.
Right?
Testicle?
Yes.
Okay.
What is
can't-
this, fear factor?
I can't imagine that the texture of that is pleasant. I can't
Well, they
imagine
cut
it.
off
I'll
the
try
part that's
No,
they
they
cut
do
off
not.
the bad textured part, which
No,
is
they
the
don't.
tough stuff.
No, they don't.
Yeah, because
Especially if
otherwise
it's
you
fried.
can't eat it.
Fried
Uh,
testicle?
You have to cut them out of the
Yeah.
skin, because otherwise the texture's just not great.
Listen, nobody
The
from the
texture's not
boonies
great
eats
anyway.
something that doesn't taste good, so I'll try it.
I don't know. I'd try it.
As somebody who spent their summer at a sheep farm, let me tell
Unless
you.
you cooked it. Did you cook it?
Yes. I didn't eat it, but I know that I did cook it. I refused to eat it.
Was it
Any-
tough?
I'd
Or
try it
Were you
once.
feeling a little
Like-
sheepish about
As
it?
he's
Yes.
about to transition this back.
I was gonna. I'm trying my best. I'm just gonna
Guys,
like.
slip one in.
I'm just gonna like freaking fly fish the narrative back.
Should we go see Ace?
I don't know. Let's ask the rest of the bar. Hey, should we go see Ace?
The rest of the bar kind of looks at you like, what? Like, 'cause there's two people that are there. One is Henley, the bartender, who's kind of like, what kind of question is that, and kind of ignores you.
Oh, I kind of figured there's be some drunken people lying around.
There's
like,
one. There's one other sailor that's kind of drinking, but like he looks like he's about to like go out and like be a sailor and like do a job, and so he completely ignores you because he has no idea why you'd be speaking to him.
Here's the reason why I was asking. I was expecting at least one drunk person to have spent the night there, heard them ball slapping upstairs, and been like, ah!
You know what? That's fair. That's
like
fair.
not a whole crowd of people like, oh, just like one guy who's like, ah!
Ball slapping.
Just absolute ball slapping. That is what happened. But no one else is in the bar. They were there earlier, but now it's so late. It's later on in the day. There's not a whole lot of reason for them to be in the bar. A lot of the sailors have left and gone and been sailors.
In direct contrast, he goes, should we go see Ace? And Whisper very quickly goes, yeah!
Eager beaver over there.
I'm sorry, she.
Beaver. Just,
See, there's this animal, and they're really excited to get down to work.
I'm playing this.
that's my kind of
My bad.
Yeah.
Also, for reference, Ace was there when you woke up, but when you went out and did your training, he was like, "I'll see you guys later. Don't be late."
And I was like,
he failed to specify when you should be there.
I'm ready to go now.
Did he say where we should be going?
Did he?
You had the impression that the meeting place was supposed to be City Hall.
City Hall.
Presumably.
That is
right?
where you guys have met up pretty much consistently the entire time.
We always meet up with your best friend.
Oh, yeah.
The mayor's favorite person.
Town hall does kind of
Are you friends now with the mayor?
No.
Shaughness.
She's
Is she not?
the worst. God
Like my
awful
cannibal
woman.
joke.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so you guys make your way to City Hall. Is there any objections to this?
Let's go to City Hall.
It's
March.
it's what we do.
As you guys go out of the Silver Sail, make your way towards the center, the big marketplace, city center square. You can see there's a very, very large gathering of people. You can see a lot of shining armor. You definitely see Yasadi's shining silver plate mail, along with her very ornate draconic mace that she has slung over her shoulder. You see the dark robed Koros as he's kind of like hunched over next to her. And of course you see Ace, who is having a great time going up to literally every single person he can see, just clapping them in the back and chatting them up. You hear him just like a little bit over the rest of the crowd like, "It's been good to see you, friend. Please make your way up to Ravendale so that we may return this hospitality you've given us." And he just keeps saying that to like every nondescript person that is possibly congregating to look at him. Then you see Adi's favorite, Lillian, the mayor, kind of like arms crossed, kind of looking out over the little congregation that's almost disturbing our town at this point. It's getting a little bit too rowdy. It's getting a little bit too like nothing's really happening, so people are getting kind of restless. But there's still, you know, strangers who are gathering a small but pretty imposing force in front of City Hall. What do you guys do?
Good morning.
Ace like as he's like halfway through talking to somebody, he just like hears you say like, "Oh," and he kind of like just abandons entirely what he was saying like halfway through a conversation. Like, "Thank you for welcoming us here. Please make your way." "Oh, hello, Whisper. It's great to see you again."
Just a light. Just like, very good to see you too this morning.
"I'm glad you guys made it. I would have hated to have to leave without you guys. You guys have been such an important part of this town." He's like, you see him like he's like looking like very, very serious. Like, "I'm so glad that you guys are joining us on our way to Ravendale. I can't imagine a better party to travel with."
I can't imagine a better travel partner either.
And he makes his way over to He's like, "My man, how was your night? I hear you did excellent in the betting rounds."
It was good, fun game, and I must say that good friends to share it with.
"That's just the most wholesome thing I've heard all day. What about you two? How did you do tonight? Or last night, I should say."
Barely got any sleep, didn't we?
We definitely had our fun instead of sleeping, but you know, I think we make a pretty good pair.
I think so too.
You just see the two other Dragonborn like.
I
I don't
between
see
sex and marriage. Good job. Good job. Kind of. There are other things involved. So.
Marriage.
No.
Not
No.
yet. Soon.
No. No.
Wedding date. Nope.
Are you asking? I'm not sorry. Are you asking me?
Yes.
As the dungeon master, hey, are we getting married at some point? Like I don't know. You
It's
tell me.
almost the difference. Not quite. Almost.
You think I'm getting married?
Yes, you said good pet.
Oh, you're saying
Good together.
Ace. I see. Ace doesn't respond to that.
You
Ace
guys
is
are sex, correct?
Yeah, Ace is
Yeah.
going over to Des now as you two discuss that.
I mean, that's a pretty solid reason to start a commitment.
Sex.
Yes.
Des, my friend, I
Mutual
heard
enjoyment.
something terrible
She's
happened
married
to your
many
crossbows.
No.
You know,
That's
nature things when
different.
they explode in your hand and destroy priceless family heirlooms. You know how it is.
Oh, you know, I've had so many
Test the
weapons that
wares
just
before you even
don't
think
quite-
about something like that because
they,
the
they,
wrong
they
commitment
fail you at
is a
sometimes.
big
But let me be sure.
decision
Ravendale has
when
the
you
best
don't know
smiths in the world.
how it's
Can
gonna
guarantee
go.
you'll find somebody who can recraft that into a beautiful weapon. I guarantee it.
Super.
And then across the bridge at Hallport, you can even have it enchanted. They don't do enchantments so much in Ravendale, but that's just kind of how it is. It's okay. Guarantee you'll find someone who can help you with that.
Well, that certainly sounds fascinating. Hopefully they can do something with this. And pulls out the handle. And it's just fucking exploded.
You just see Ace like make like the most pitiful expression you've ever seen a Dragonborn make. Like it's difficult for them to like properly emote like humans do, but like you can just see his like, oh no. He kind of like almost like trying to like cradles it in his hands, and he's not touching it. He's like, that is truly a tragedy. My condolences, friend. And then he goes with Addy with his face back up.
Oh my god, he's so sweet.
He seems very
Apparently, you're really sweet.
I've been told that.
Yeah.
What do you
I've
think
heard.
about that?
You're great, I'm
Should-
sure.
Is there? I don't come off too strong, do I? I try to pull it back a little bit, and then
Sure.
you the other two Dragonborn again, kind of like.
Absolutely
You do look
get that vibe
quite
from
strong. You work out, of course.
Every day, sir.
See?
What a card.
You. Not as annoyingly as that one. 6 of them.
What I do with my time is my business.
6 in the morning.
Yes.
As you guys kind of lightly bicker, the mayor will kind of like clear like. So, you guys have all gathered. Thank you for protecting our town. Are you guys departing now? You can see she's getting kind of impatient.
I will say, as a side note, so the last session I did put in a commission for the crossbow.
That's true.
So we're departing.
With Boris the blacksmith. Yes.
Yeah, we still need to go talk to old Boris before we head out.
And he was constructing.
He was also putting a basically a
Ballista.
ballista on the carriage.
Yes.
That's true.
Keep him safe. Keep him
To this point, you said you wanted to do Boris, and you can see
Well, I don't want to do Boris.
you want to do
It's
Boris.
not-
We're gonna do Boris.
Get over here, Boris.
Anyway,
I'm a little tired.
are you
It's not
still kind of recovering?
I did my kata. I did all that. But like,
Just a little bit of a breather.
I'm not a little overeager, if that makes sense.
like wobbly.
You can
Yeah, my knees are a little bit.
well, you can always stay and keep Ace company while Des goes and tries and negotiates with Boris.
Oh,
I think-
can I?
I think Ace keeping Ace like
Negotiates?
is part of the problem with the legs.
Wait, what part of this is negotiate?
Didn't you already pick a price?
I already paid.
Not negotiating, interacting.
Okay.
You know,
I was like,
I wasn't intending it to be
I'm
a
The mullet is Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will kill you.
Jesus.
So to the blacksmith.
Anyway, you go to pick up your commission from
Yeah.
Boris,
Mm-hmm.
and he does come, and he comes out with a beautifully done masterworked
Ooh.
crossbow. It doesn't look spot on like your other one. You had to use I had to use other. I had other materials I must use instead of the mithril you had on other one, yes?
Myth?
The mith-
Oh, it was like a little coppery.
Was it? Adamantite then, because adamantite probably.
But,
So it's well, I'm trying to make it like a more.
I understand it would make sense to be more like in my head. I kind of envisioned it to be like have like it looks coppery, right?
So you're saying you're not
Why
happy
not
with
just
horses
bronze?
work?
So like it's like a bronze.
Yeah, it could
Bronze
be kind
is a
of
copper alloy.
yeah, it could be a bronze. Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, let's make it a bronze alloy. Like it does not match exactly. It is hard to recreate bronze in same cast, in same color. Yes.
Of course, I understand.
Okay. So you guys are doing it. It's got the side plate that you scavenged from the other salvage, I should say, from the other one. So it's got your family's name on it. It's got everything that you needed on it. It's a little bit mismatched. Like it's I want to say like these two bowls right here, like they're just slightly off.
Mm.
But the audience can't see that, but it is it's just a slight mismatch.
Okay.
They would need to see both bowls.
I'm gonna take
This
a look.
is great TV.
I'm gonna take a look at it. Just
The
like kind of
content you don't
hold it in
pay
my hand.
for.
Like feels pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it feels perfect.
Feels-
Like the balance of it is absolutely exquisite.
She's like testing it out with like her
Yep.
trademark.
The weight of them is actually spot on. Like they're both the same weight.
Oh, okay,
It's
that's
just
good.
the only difference is a slight coloration issue because
Okay.
now they weren't made from the same casting
Yeah,
like they were before.
gotcha. Okay. And for flavor of the weapon, what do we got? We got anything? Is it just the same? Like what's going on with the weapon?
The weapon is literally exactly what you ordered it to be. It is a masterwork version of a crossbow. That both of your crossbows are masterworked.
Alright.
There's no extra thing that it does. But you have your poisoned weapons. You have your concussion grenade style bolts that you bought from thing. You've got. I think you still have a couple net ones as well.
Mm-hmm.
The actual weapon itself does not have any magical attributes. It is a purely mundane but very well crafted hand crossbow. Like, oh yes, and also the cannon, the harpoon cannon you want on the cart. Come, please. And he comes like you see him walk outside of his little shop, and you see the carriage that you guys had taken to Andersville and also back, and it has a strange kind of like. It's not a stationary kind of cannon like you would think. It has like kind of it kind of goes up and then comes down as like almost like a swiveling circle that you can use to shoot it 180 degrees around the thing, even if it's especially close to the actual cart. Because like you see, I tried it to just put it right on top, yes, but if you come too close to it, you cannot reach, and it feels like that is the whole point, yes? So I made it so it came down and fired outward. It's almost horizontal style, but it requires some measure of strength to turn in proper time. But I think it's better.
It is perfect.
So yes, hopefully this will protect this cart and make sure you do not get hit in the head as it comes round. Yes, it's almost like a boom from a sail ship.
I'm not there, and this is exactly the kind of warning that these morons will not relay.
What?
One of these
The thing is, this is not really important to anybody because you guys are leaving.
Yeah, it's part of the cart that was for the guy that took us to Andersville.
Yeah.
So
We-
glad
we
the
killed-
random card
We
driver.
killed his cousin or something like that. I felt bad, so I
Saved.
got him a ballista. And he didn't know how to use a dagger, so.
We got him a ballista.
I'm pretty sure there's a
cart.
dagger sticking in
He
his cart
got my
as a step
dagger
right now.
stuck in his
He took that one out.
He took it out.
You guys took the dagger out of his cart.
I believe the description we gave for it was that it was on some giant arm, and it was It's swiveling.
It is
Yeah.
a fucking ballista.
Yeah, he literally,
Like,
that's literally what it was made for. Like, it's like
Traveling.
a weird swiveling hand crossbow thing that's just like he like he did exactly what you asked him to do, even though he was kind of like, I don't know why you want this, but here you go.
Oh, well, he seemed very excited about it last time. Like, oh, weird, weird shit.
It's weird shit, and he loves it. But it was like that doesn't necessarily mean he understands why you wanted it. He's like, okay, sure.
So, so it's all done now. It's
It is completed. Yes.
So I'll take the cart to the fellow.
Okay. The you bring it out towards the gate to where the guards were. He's like, oh, we'll make sure this gets to where they need to go. And you see a small half-elven guard just kind of like look at it like, what did you all do to this thing? He kind of like knocks on it with his spear. And he kind of like bats at it, and then you see the arm just kind of like all the way around as the guard just kind of like flings his spear into it and just kind of like does a little rotating thing. It's like, this seems dangerous. Who authorized this? And he like looks around to anyone who's there. I believe it's the three of you.
Yeah, that would be me.
You are? He's like, he kind of looks at you. He's like, you're the one who's been donating to all the merchants around here.
Yes.
You can see he's kind of like conflicted about this information. He's like,
The person who transported us to Andersville, he had no means of protection, and so I thought, why not have something mounted to the wagon?
kind of like nods. Well, I can't fault your logic. However, next time, please ask the captain of the guard before you start altering carriages.
Yes.
It's a bit of a safety risk.
With that being said, I must say, this is for Darrow, of course, but
That's right.
bless you, even though you're not here. I must recommend that your gods use wagons as well for your transportation.
All the time.
Boris constructed this. No?
Yeah, it looks like Boris's work, I have to say.
Great.
The craftsmanship isn't quite the issue I have with it, you see. Like, I appreciate what you guys are trying to do. I appreciate that this is definitely a great way to increase the safety of the wagon. It does, however, make it a bit conspicuous.
It is understandable. Maybe you gods have discussion with Darrow and see if you can come to terms.
I see. Okay.
With that being said, I do recommend, with all the attacks lately and the raids upon the peoples, you go to Boris and maybe see if you can have your gods outfitted with this as well.
By extension, it does seem a little careless to be sending a young boy like Daryl out in the middle of nowhere while there's all this bullshit happening.
He was almost killed.
To be fair, when we last sent him out, we sent him out with with your party, the four of you at the time.
Which is why he's not dead.
Exactly.
But
No, again,
Could've
I
been.
appreciate the idea of
Put
what
it
you
better
were
myself.
doing. It is an idea, and I will leave it at that. I guess there's no point in further conversing with you about it, but I just want to say thank you for all your help. Thank you for, I assume, paying for this?
Yes.
Okay. So, no harm, no foul, I suppose. But
Right.
please, next time you go and edit city property, run it by the guards first.
That is understandable.
Okay. Appreciate it. And you just see the guard kind of like look at the cart again. He just whacks it with his spear. He's like, all right. And he just kind of like goes about and starts patrolling down the road.
it's gonna be really dangerous if you treat it like that. God, if you're not hitting it around, it'd be fine.
Are you well versed in ballista?
I mean, it's not gonna shoot if you're not whacking it with your spear.
In my experience, you put spear in
Right?
ballista. Yes.
You don't just hit it and
That's
let
true.
it spin around.
I agree. Still, nice man.
There's definitely a few safety regulations that were ignored in the construction of this particular weapon.
Well, I think it's about time we go to another town. mess up their public property.
Okay.
Always away with words, aren't you?
We should find Whisper.
I don't think Whisper's going anywhere.
I think she's right where we left her. We can just go pick her up.
Actually, I did have a quick question. Okay. About the mechanics of the masterwork items. That's a Dungeons 3 thing, right?
What?
Dungeons
That's
and
a what?
Dragons.
I think he just
3rd.
meant it was really well made.
It's just like
Oh,
really.
I just wanted
So
to.
like if you were selling it, it might cost more money to sell it, kind of thing.
The only reason I ask is because it was mentioned that wielding it provides +1 bonus to attack rolls.
In version
Yeah.
3, yeah.
I don't know if that carries over now or if we're just saying it's really nice.
It's just really nice at this point.
Okay.
It doesn't have a +1 yet. It's a bit early for +1 weapons.
You
We'll
could
see.
you could buy like +1 bolts.
You could get it enchanted as well.
I see.
Enchantment.
A lot of the bonuses that I'm giving to you in particular are going to be in the form of ammunition.
So
To Whisper.
Whisper. And then Ravendale.
It is.
So the three of you go back towards the city center. You guys see Whisper chatting with Ace right along. Do you want to say anything in particular to him?
No, he's just telling me about things, and I'm like, wow, that's so nice. You're so smart.
He's sitting there. He's telling you about the road up to Ravendale, the coastline, and all the hills that line the coastline on the way up. And he's like, wait till you see the teeth along the toothy, almost maw-like mountains along the northern coast. It is quite the sight to behold.
I cannot wait to behold it.
And then, as you say that, the three of you walk.
Lord.
Really just the cutest couple.
Ace is got his hand and his arm around her, like, yeah, this is an excellent group of people, and I cannot wait for our journey. Speaking of which, we should get going. And he kind of like, as a matter of fact, takes his greatsword, kind of like holds it up like pillars, and like they all kind of like start to like, oh shit.
Does he gonna like pop a quick shot doing it? Is he gonna narrate the whole time?
Wow.
If he is only one of those
She's already for you.
Wow. He holds up his greatsword. He says, "Pillars, please assemble," and they all kind of go into line. You see the two Dragonborn kind of, and like the group of individuals that are in the more rank and file thing. There's like a wide array. Like you see a couple of humans, you see several dwarves, you see several half elves.
So they're not all Dragonborn things.
No.
Okay.
Just the three captains that you saw. Those were some Dragonborn. They are Dragonborn in the rank and file. There are plenty of Dragonborn mixed around.
But it's not a predominant kind of thing.
No, there's about
they're all pillars of Bahamut, and then there's the four of us.
yeah,
Sweet.
essentially. You haven't joined, so yeah.
Sure. Well, you guys hear that? Assemble.
Yes, that is a word.
Oh my god.
And it's time we make our way back to Ravendale. We've done much good in this city. We've rid it of many a plague. And now it is time to return triumphant and inform our leaders of our coming victories still. Please, to the city gates. And then he leads them all out. And you see just Lillian's kind of face, like as she's standing there with her arms still crossed, kind of like, oh, finally. Just kind of like watches them leave, watches the three captains of the pillars leave, and just kind of like watches the four of you as well.
Des is gonna ride along with Land Biscuit.
That's right, you have a priest. Forgot about that. All right. Like
Wow,
as you.
he's such a leader.
Great Foley work. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
We just need
noticed.
all we needed six coconuts to make. As you guys make your way out, I'm assuming you guys are following him. So
Oh yeah.
as-
Yeah, so
Like the cartoon, like when there's a pie on the windowsill, and it's like.
I have my trident and have my shield, around my back.
As you guys are making your way out, you see a couple of people like kind of congregating more towards the gate. You recognize Calrin, who's kind of like overseeing the departure. You see Jordan from the general store, who's kind of like clapping as when she sees the four of you, as you guys have helped her so much. And she went from a small little stall to a big, sprawling general store, and it was in no small part to you guys helping her out quite a bit.
I make eye contact, just nod.
She nods towards you. I don't remember if she likes that or not, but I'm going to go with she does because it's you guys are all leaving, and it's a very triumphant kind of like you guys did a lot of good here. You guys did a lot of helpful stuff. They're very appreciative. So you see, as you're walking by, Calrin kind of like kicks into lockstep with you guys. Like, you guys heading out then, huh? What? When can we expect you back?
I guess it depends on what the Pillars of Bahamut decide.
Very fair. You guys joining up with them? In step with you.
I wouldn't oppose to it. I don't think maybe.
From what I heard, I don't think you'd oppose to much of him.
Stop.
He kind of like looks up to everyone else if they have a opinion on it.
I certainly prayed to a pillar.
That's what
Wow.
religious people pray in.
Calrin just like, dang, Diz, tell us what you really think.
Ignored. A menace.
We will be in Ravendale, so if any new news comes and you need our aid, please send word.
Oh, don't worry, we will. It would be foolish not to embark on the aid of our newest, most steadfast allies. And Ravendale's not too far away. It's only 2 days march. 2 days march.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. It's can be a bit of a rough road. So you guys take care of yourself, right?
Yeah. What do you think? What's along the way?
Nowadays, could be anything. With those Dragonborn coming in and just kind of riling up whoever they can seem to find, I wouldn't be surprised if you found a whole lot of stuff on the way to Ravendale. And even inside the place, I'm sure that city doesn't have its share of problems either.
If the butcher, if he comes back, he usually has a friend, a bard.
He's like, yeah, the blue Dragonborn. You guys.
My suggestion is to concentrate on that one. Butcher seems to lose his temper.
He's on a leash.
And if he
Definitely,
doesn't have someone to reel him back, he may fall for the trap.
You see Cal kind of like laughing, like, I appreciate the tactics advice, but I got a pretty good noggin on me myself. And he kind of like takes his rapier and kind of like knocks it against his head.
As
Before he
Hubert
slips back.
lays down.
Wait, does he slightly cut himself? Like, ow.
No, he does the hilt.
Yeah.
He just hits him with like the handle of it. Yeah, he's not like taking it out and smacking himself in the head.
Oh shit! Hey.
Instead of knocking on his head with his hand, he just does it with the handle of his rapier.
Yes, I have no doubt.
Appreciate it though. If we see him starting up trouble, you guys will be the first to know. He kind of slides it back into his belt, kind of like nods to all four of you, and kind of like fades back and goes into a more routine patrol of the road. This is the last you see of Kale as he walks away.
Out of character.
That was ominous, first of all.
Goodbye, Brett.
I love him. Out of character. My boy.
And so as you guys are marching your way up to the north towards Ravendale, you see that the hills that normally dot the area around Cliffhaven, they rapidly begin to become more severe. And, like, the road kind of has to move eastwards to kind of accommodate them, as the hills go from like the gentle kind of like wavy cliffs up the north of Cliffhaven kind of turn jagged, turn more rough. And so you guys pass by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 broken down husks of like forts and towers that have lined the road throughout the eons that you guys don't really have much knowledge of the specifics of their purpose, but you can see that like at some point this road was extremely important.
How do the surroundings feel? Everything seems like, you know, listening around, everything seems okay. Like,
You hear birds chirping. The weather is more. It's all the overcast clouds of morning are being burned away. So you see like a few wispy tendrils of clouds along the upside of at high altitudes.
Yeah.
Seeing north, you can see the mountains in the distance that kind of have a bit more of a like you know how when a cloud goes against a mountain, it kind of like accumulates on one side.
Yeah,
You can kind of see like as the day goes by, one of them will expand and then it'll go back down and then it'll repeat it over and over again as you're watching it.
okay. Is this like an open top wagon, or are we in wagons?
You're not in wagons at all. You're
Okay.
you're marching.
We're marching. Okay.
Yeah, there's like a battalion of about 30 people.
So it'd be a lot faster by horse, but we're marching. That's why it's 2 days.
We would be very
So Des is just riding in the back like.
Yeah. Well.
Alright.
yeah. You're the only one, unfortunately you're the only one with a horse, and this was not something that they were prepared to. This wasn't a super fast process in the first place, unfortunately. But yeah, you're walking your way. Probably more than 2 days. If you think about it. Probably more like 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
But that's not
by March,
Yeah,
essentially.
by
Okay.
March. So 4 or 5 days.
I'll just keep that in mind. So
Yeah.
if I need to do that. Okay.
And so as you're marching along, there's several times where Ace will hold up like a lot. It's about. Is there anything you guys want to do in particular along the way? Is there any like specific things you want to do to mark the time or pass the time?
Maybe talk to.
There is one other person that has a horse. Korast has a horse, but he is
Is
with.
that the older one?
That's the one. That's the one with the staff, the black
old,
dragon.
Yeah, kind of like okay, like hunched a little.
You don't know he's old. You
Okay.
have not interacted with him. He
Okay.
is hunched.
I feel like that's probably the person I want to talk to.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's on a horse.
Mhm.
So I'll kind of, take a quick little pace to catch up to him a little bit.
Okay.
Is he in the front or the back?
He's in the front.
Okay.
It's Ace in the middle. Then on the left is Yolati, and then on the right is Korast.
So I'll kind of, catch up a little bit.
Okay. So you're walking next to Korast, and you kind of see him kind of like move his head to look at you, and he just moves his head back. Doesn't really think much of it.
Sorry for disturbing. I just wanted to ask a few questions if that was okay.
You kind of like hear him kind of like hiss. What questions would you have for me? And you hear in his voice, he's not necessarily old, but it's like a rasp to it.
Yeah. How long have you been a member with the police?
Going on about 3 years now.
3 years. Are they? I do not know much about them.
As you should not.
So that is by choice. That is something that you guys.
It is by design that we do not announce ourselves quite as much as our captain would lead it to believe. This is a very unusual circumstance.
May I ask why the secrecy?
Secret. Anyone keep secrets, I suppose? We do not want others to know of our dealings and of our movements.
That is understandable. I do not talk much to my home for reasons. I wanted to ask.
He's staring straight
Yeah,
forward.
straight
He's
ahead.
not looking at you.
These people who have been invading,
Mm-hmm.
have you run into them before?
I cannot disclose that information, unfortunately. I appreciate all of the work you have done, but you are not a member of our order. And we are not inclined to disclose privileged information.
May I ask what makes a member?
You will know that when we get to Ravendale, I imagine.
Well, I see your time is important. Have a good day.
Kind of like, you see him kind of like you can see his head move, which it doesn't normally, as he kind of like scoffs at what you said. Like, any questions would be answered to the best of my ability. Please do not hesitate to ask. However, again, information may be privileged.
Very well. I understand. And I kind of just trail back a little bit.
Okay. And he just is on his
Korost, you said?
Korost, yes.
Okay.
I can spell it out for you if you like.
Yeah, actually, that'd be
R's.
great.
K-O-R.
K-O-R?
K-O-R.
Yeah.
Apostrophe R-A-S-T.
Cool.
Korost. And you can see him, like, as you're pulling backward, you see him kind of, like, stand up more straight, stops slouching, and kind of, like, stretches his back, and you can kind of, even at that distance here, kind of go, like, as his back cracks.
I fall back to Whisper.
Okay.
To me.
You seem to be fond of this ace.
Maybe.
This, and I kind of just nod my head towards Korost. This other dragonborn, he seems to not like the captain's style as much. Maybe keep an eye on that.
Well, I don't know. Because part of me is thinking that I don't really care what that guy thinks because he's chromatic. But, you know, we have met some chromatic dragons that have been alright, I guess. So, maybe you've got a point, but I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with Ace.
This difference between you and chromatics, because you are silver metallic.
Mm-hmm.
Where does your indifference come from? Is personal experience?
It's just the way things are. It's the base alignments of the deities and just the average, I guess. You get a lot of chromatic dragons that do bad deeds, and you get a lot of metallics that do good deeds. I don't know. It's just how I was raised, I guess. Listen, I'm doing a lot of questioning on it, and it's really hard for me, but I've never had to question it before now.
It is understandable.
She tried chromatic, it was pretty good. She tried metallic, it was pretty good. It's hard to decide.
I don't know. I think they're making it up.
Yes, go ahead and roll a d12 for me.
Oh, by the way, Whisper is walking right where she could just see Ace's ass.
Ace's ass isn't quite on display because he is in his full plate, but
That's fine.
it's appreciated, I'm sure.
It's reflected as hell.
It's in her mind's eye.
Yeah.
'cause she's
She knows what it looks like.
What'd you roll?
A 1.
Okay. As you guys make your way towards the north, first full day of marching has been fairly uneventful. Fairly nice day. It was a good time to set out. And it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock now at night. It's getting towards where it's getting a little too late to march. So there, you see the ranks kind of break up into groups of 5 or 6, and they start setting up camp.
We should probably do the same.
There's
You
not
can
really
see-
a reason to get ahead of us.
You see Ace carrying like 3 sets of the encampment equipment off of the pack animal that they've brought with them. He just kind of like gently sets them down. Everyone's like, "Glad to help everybody. Please, quickly make your camp so that we may get a good night's rest."
Ace, you need any help?
Ah, Whisper, absolutely. Please come to my tent and let us set up shop for the night.
Excellent. Sounds great.
I am a paladin, so if marriage is on the table.
I'll let you know.
I don't know if paladins have that.
They persona bliss.
Thank you.
I'll let you know. I'll tell you.
Very well. Ace,
Yes.
have fun.
Every day, sir.
So you see, there's a difference between dating, sex, and marriage, and they're kind of dating, maybe.
He just walks right by you guys.
You land dwellers are interesting.
So you see all of the Dragonborn captains have their own tents. You see like a couple of the you see all of the rank and file kind of like pair off on their own kind of like little cliques. A lot of them are kind of grouping by race. It's just how it tends to go. All of the dwarves are kind of like congregating together. A keg immediately appears as if from nowhere, and there's things going around, and it gets pretty soon it becomes a fairly not loud but lively campfire comes up, and everyone seems to be settling in for the night. About day's march outside of Cliffhaven.
I mean, I congregated to someone of my race, so I can't blame them.
This is how it kind of goes. There are definitely some intermingling of races going on. It's not a hard and fast rule, but like this seems to be how the groups kind of form. Probably because of like these are who joined at certain times with their group. So, you guys have anything you want to do as like a downtime activity during camp, or anything that you want to focus on?
I mean, I suppose it's a good time to brine my
Yeah.
hyena goods and stick them in a pot of vinegar.
Hyena goods, you mean?
Well, you should brine tonight, because you need 24-hour brine.
Sure.
Experienced
24-hour brine, and then I'll put them in the
I just
vinegar.
love a pickle.
Or a pillar, apparently.
Pickles and pills.
It's a question of size, really.
Seems like a question of girth.
I mean, that's just a specification of size at this point.
That's true, you're just getting pedantic.
So, not much goes on during the night. There's a couple of requests for each of you to, if you want to participate in the night's watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jonas will take that up.
Yeah, Des will too.
Okay.
Des definitely said, like, before the night watch started, Des definitely, like, went over to the dwarves and was, like, talking to them in Dwarvish, like, just chatting up.
Oh, they're so happy that someone here is speaking Dwarvish. They're like, the language of home. Thank you, lass.
Take a few drinks with them and get lively.
Like, around here there's a Dwarven settlement. It's quite well known. Don't go telling anybody about it. It's not exactly external knowledge, but in the lands of the dwarves, it's the closest we have to a port of some sort. We dwarves are not. I shouldn't say we dwarves. My clan and I are not very keen on the water.
Very unsettling.
We're very dense individuals, you see, and we tend not to float very easily.
Completely understand.
They get hives.
What?
We're waiting for that.
They're allergic to water.
It's like, personally, I prefer the safety and security of the wide open plains because folks can get up higher.
They kind of
keep darting up.
They kind of like bristle a little bit at it. Like, too much sky is unnerving. Like a good firm ceiling over our heads.
Well, I can drink to that for sure.
They hand you a drink. Like, clang, and then they, of course, are drinking. All right, so you guys want to take what? Okay.
I only do watch if Ace asks me if I want to.
I'm pretty sure Ace has other plans for you, but okay.
If Ace goes, do you want to do watch? Then she'll be like, oh yeah, to try to impress him, but if he doesn't ask me, no.
Ace will probably do a watch, and he'll probably ask you to do it. But he'll probably do like the last watch, like the one from probably around 4 a.m. to
first.
Which one?
So you guys will have, let's say, the middle watch.
Yeah, I'll be in the same watch as says.
Okay.
We'll do the middle watch.
So you guys are joined by a few elves who have already done their trance on the first round of night watch because they only need to do 4 hours. Like, interesting. Usually we don't get humans on this round.
Well,
Or they kind of look over to
this is
Giannis.
Triton.
Tritons. Sorry.
This is like midnight,
Not familiar.
or is this like 1,
No
2?
Hmm?
Is this like midnight, 1, 2? What time is it? You said mid.
It's let's go with about midnight till, and then your watch will end around 2 a.m.
All right. Okay. Makes sense. Fine. Well, this is when the most action happens.
The dead of night. They kind of look at each other like, if you say so.
Well, I'm more referring to like the witching hour.
Ah, I see. This is when the beasts and such come out. We do have quite a few of those in the forests. They have fearsome beasts on the plains.
You know,
They're assuming because you've got the Andersville getup going on.
oh, beasts come in many flavors, but mostly it's the beast of man. So
So just rowdy boys.
rowdy's the polite term, yeah.
You got a lot of problems in Andersville these days?
Just a couple bandit raids coming on through, you know, tussling up the town folk, gotta deal with those. And usually they come around, you know, midnight, 2 a.m. Sometimes if they're a little bit more, ambitious, will come during the daytime.
That's very brave of them to do that in the broad of day. Let's see, they kind of look up and they see it's a bit cloudy, but there is like a 3/4 moon out in the sky. Like, can't imagine there's gonna be too much. It's not like it's a full moon or anything. Although, I'll have to be honest, it always struck me strange that so much strange happenings happen on the full moon when it's mostly the brightest it gets at night. They're just kind of like musing to themselves a little bit. they're just talking shit. They're passing the time.
Top of the top wall.
The few hours goes by, you guys don't really see anything too crazy, and then you see a pair of, or not a pair, 4 guards come and say, "Shift's up, guys. Thanks for making it a bit easier on us."
As they're coming over, I stop showing. I'm like showing you a wooden figure, and I'm like, this was Prasad.
Were you whittling that, or was that?
No, I already had it. It's something that was handed to me.
You just
by
got
my mother.
sentimental in the watch.
Yeah. And I take it, I show, and I say, "Have you heard of him before?"
First I'm hearing about it.
It's interesting, the sea gods that worship around this area. You see the more ravenous ones, like Umberly, the bitch queen.
The what?
The bitch queen, Umberly. But Prasanna, he protects, he builds. You are a builder. A builder of relationship.
I try my best.
May he protect.
Oh, it's like he's presenting it as like a token to me.
Mhm.
Well, to be honest, that is the sweetest thing. I will cherish this.
Gods. Be careful.
Alright. You guys finish up your watch. Whisper and Ace, who I assume have been at each other.
A ruckus.
Okay. I was going to say if you guys had done like an earlier one, you would have heard that, but they've been far done with that. They've come, so like Ace kind of like wakes you up, like, time for our watch. Come on.
Absolutely.
You don't
I'm
need
used to
to.
waking up early. It's just a matter of.
Yep. And like you can do your.
I
Your prep.
absolutely will, because I know I'm gonna get a little nap in between.
It's like just it's still fairly dark out. It's not. It's you can kind of see like the gentlest smattering of the light of dawn on the horizon, but it's hard to see quite because the hills are blocking your view of the western sky, and the eastern sky is it's not plains like it normally is. When you're farther south, there's a bit more of a forest going on, but you can see like the stars are just a bit less bright on the eastern side. Right. As you guys finish up your watch, we're going to go straight into the second day of marching. And I'm going to need two of you to roll a d12. I'm going to go with the left side. Go ahead, Whisper and Giannis, roll a d12.
So 11 for you. 5 for me.
Okay, nothing so far. Another generally not quite impactful day. The weather is getting a little bit more cloudy as you go north. It's getting a little bit more overcast. You can see in the distance the mountains are getting a little bit closer, and you can see a bit more clearly the roiling clouds as it goes over. Fortunately, nothing quite happens that day, nothing quite happens that night either, unless you guys want to change or do something specific. You guys want to do the same things you did last time?
For the watch, you're saying? Or the...
Yeah, like just anything, really.
This
Do
is
you want
gonna
to talk with anybody? Do you want to interact with anything in particular?
So like, okay, so we
Mhm.
started the day, we marched for X amount of time, we're at a new location.
You're farther north. You're about 2 days march north of Cliffhaven.
Okay, we're still like in the pretty mountainous. We're like have like
It's
we're in
beginning.
overlook.
It's progressively getting more rough and mountainous on the right side, on the west side along the coast as you guys are moving up. But
Okay.
the right side or your east side is just becoming more and more like not necessarily like crazy, but like there's more trees. There's more like it's getting more arboreal as opposed to the plains that you're used to. Like it's just kind of transitioning from almost no trees to like okay now there's a patch, now there's a couple, now it's getting into like okay now there's now there's like a brush, and then it's going more. Basically the forest that to the south of Cliffhaven kind of like does a little skip over the plains of Andersville and then continues towards the north until it gets more and more mountainous and colder and colder.
Andersville is very plain-like, right?
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah, it's spaghetti western, so it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
flat.
Yeah, okay. And just Cliffhaven built literally into the cliffs off
Well,
the coast, right?
The way that
The west coast.
it's built into the west coast of the continent, and then it's the strange thing about Cliffhaven is that it's basically carved out of two like there's cliffs and cliffs and cliffs, and it gets a little gentler, and then it kind of goes
Okay.
and then it goes back up to the south of Cliffhaven. So it's almost like it was just scooped out, so that someone could put
Okay.
a port right there.
And I'm sorry if we already answered this, but have we found out the continent name yet of this place?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, cool. And it's something we probably wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't know. Cause I'm from the
You
water,
wouldn't know.
way west of this. So.
No.
Yeah, I'm west of Westeros.
It's not called Westeros. I can guarantee you that. I would not do that.
It's called Easteros.
I mean,
God damn it.
But still west.
It's called
Westeros, but still west.
It's called Westeros.
I thought you meant Weez.
Yeah,
Westeros.
it's a SpongeBob meme.
Oh god.
Anyway,
I was gonna say if there's anything interesting at the next campsite, Des might like just kind of like I don't know, like look around the terrain and stuff and just kind of like take it all in.
there's nothing particularly strange. However, the calls that you're used to at night have changed, and you're not familiar with the calls of the birds that you hear or any of the animals that are surrounding you. So you're a little bit out of your comfort zone because you're usually like out at night. You're usually patrolling. You're dealing with ruffians. You're doing all that kind of stuff. And then you hear like the general barking of dogs or anything that's kind of the kind of animals that you're used to in your area. It's a little different now. There's more birds. There's more insects. It's a bit less familiar for you.
Because Addie used to it.
Addie,
Traveled around.
yeah, you've been around. You've been doing like your Doctors Without your Heroes Without Borders, so you're pretty comfortable with wherever you are.
Yeah.
So like, there's nothing that you're not necessarily comfortable, but you're not like, oh, okay, yeah, this is fine. It's nothing unnerving. And Giannis is like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What the hell is all this noise?
Why is there so many different types of trees?
Yeah, it's a million trees. And they're all different. Like, holy shit.
And what's this tree called? Whoa. And this tree? Whoa.
What is sycamore?
Are they pretty
Why
tall
is it
trees
sick?
around here? Like they're like good 40
Is it
feet,
more
50
sick
feet
than
tall,
sick?
6 feet.
Oh no, that's being extremely generous. The highest trees probably get up to like 30, 40.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We ain't redwoods.
You're not in a true blue forest at the moment.
Say indoor.
It's hard to it's kind of hard to get like a good lay of the land because like there are so many trees and kind of like the trees get kind of bumpy as it transitions into the more hilly part of to your west, and like there's the road that you're on is like basically as tight as it can be to the west because it doesn't want to stray too far into the forest, but like any farther west, like you can even see it. Like if it would just roll and be very uncomfortable for anyone to traverse if it was any farther west. They would have had to like bore through the hills in order to make that work.
And that's been dwarves probably. They have like some.
So you've learned.
Addie, what have you been doing during these kind of like camp things? 'Cause you do watch, right?
So I brined some stuff, and now it's in the vinegar, and now I'm drinking. Because why not?
Surprised you're not sleeping with somebody for.
I have. It's camp. I don't really have to pay for a tent.
Oh,
So
okay. Opportunistic.
I could sleep with someone,
If they wanted to.
but I don't need to because I don't need to spend my
So much self-confidence.
There is
plenty self-confidence.
There is
Yeah,
a
that
single
is true.
half-orc in the Hills of Bahamut rank and file, and he spends a lot of his time with more of the half-elves and halflings. Because there's 3 or 4 halflings, there's 3 or 4 half-elves. He usually spends his time with them.
I don't have a preference for race, so
I'm just letting you know.
I'm just painting for my character. Yeah, I bought the painter supplies, so I'm just,
Okay.
I think it was Jordan who bought it from.
Do you want to do a paint?
Yeah, actually, okay.
Let's do a roll.
Let's do a roll.
Because it's been a while since we've rolled something, and I'm
Yeah.
itching to roll some
do you want
dice.
to paint Addie like one
Sure.
of your French girls?
No.
It's been mostly roleplay. We'll get into it. Trust me.
It was like, well, I was gonna probably hang out with Giannis and just like document like the different sounds I hear.
Okay.
What do you want? You want like a performance, sleight of hand? What are you thinking?
You're trying to paint?
Yeah, I'm painting a water elemental that would spawn near my home.
Let's do sleight of hand.
So I'm using my water skin to kind of,
Okay.
get the water
Yeah,
color.
to put it on the pigment. Yeah, let's do a sleight of hand check.
You can hand me my dice.
Oh, true. There we go. That nat 20 was just taunting me.
I know.
Alright, let's go with. Ooh, you're so pretty. That's not pretty.
Oh.
And I am definitely not a sleight of hand person. Am I? Yep, that is 10. 10 plus 0, so 10.
Okay. You capture the essence of what a water elemental is, but it's not necessarily elegant. It's more just like you just kind of like, it's like a doodle.
Yeah.
You were like, I feel like doing some silly stuff, and you put it into water elemental, and it looks, it looks like a water elemental. And everyone kind of huddles around like, oh, okay.
Painting my water, spill my water skin. Shit.
Right, you're just like, it's fine. It's water.
Curses?
Des like while documenting birds because she's close by. He was like, shit. He's like, and she's like.
Speaking of making checks, make a survival check.
Ooh.
See if you can
You-
accurately
ranger.
record the
Do you,
bird.
do you ask
Kill
Addie for her
Ranger.
advice?
Is Addie around?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll ask Addie for advice. But like, you know what kind of bird that is? Like, she's like trying to get
I
the
mean,
best
I've
idea
definitely
of like
heard it before.
the sound and like trying to
Would I
place
be
it
able
in the
to
sky.
describe the colors of it and shit?
Yeah, go ahead. Make something up.
Sure, it's green.
No.
usually.
Wait till he makes the roll.
Sorry.
Get way ahead.
Does he get advantage since I?
Yeah, he gets advantage because you're helping him.
She.
Oh,
Thank you.
Oh my bad. I meant you as a he,
Oh.
but
Yeah.
She gets
she
advantage
can-
because she is helping.
Alright. sorry. You gotta pull up my survival. 17. Oh,
Did you
I didn't do
roll
advantage. I did not.
Because you could get
You were so happy with it anyway.
I was. I really was.
Hank.
First roll was better. 17.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and describe
Nice.
what the.
So it's a really vibrantly green bird, and honestly, it's usually awake during the daytime, so I'm surprised you're hearing it now. But absolutely gorgeous.
Somebody woke up the bird.
So,
And it's got a really sharp hooked beak. A couple of the younger recruits are always a little scared of it. Yeah.
it's a particularly big bird. Well, she's like, that's scale. That's a pretty damn
Yeah,
big.
it's massive.
It's like a good
This big.
beefy bird.
It's like this big, but like the wingspan, just massive.
Are you just bullshitting him, or are you giving him actual information?
Nah, it's real.
Okay.
I
Well, because
like
I'm
days.
like I'm
That's-
perceived because I'm like I'm hearing the bird call. My perception's pretty good, so I'm like I'm perceiving the bird, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
Well, it's nighttime at this point, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
I don't know. So I'm asking. When are you doing?
Giannis was painting. I figured it was probably like duskish.
Well, if you're, see, the thing is, it has to be at nighttime if he's painting, because if it's during the day they're marching. You can't. I mean, you could paint during the march if you wanted to do that, but that's not what I assumed you were doing.
No, during the camping for sure.
Right.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, during that when we were like.
Almost like at duskish and then like into the twilight hours.
I see.
But see those birds
Felt like when we were, like,
behind
taking
it,
turns.
definitely nighttime birds, right? So maybe they attacked it or something. Those little things are really aggressive.
What are the little things like?
Little tiny birds with pecky beaks.
She rolled your vote. But handed it to her. Yeah.
And since we were doing this before, Whisper, make an athletics check.
Oh, you just wasted it. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah.
Well-
Yeah, that's a waste.
If Ace likes me, he's gonna get real tired of me.
What did you get?
So that's a 5 plus athletics.
Except I went big girl, so I have advantage on. No, wait.
Yeah, truly. That's an 8.
All right, it's not. You're not showing him your best foot forward, but luckily he's more than picking up the slack as he rolled a 21, so he's fine. You're just pretty.
Do
you?
you?
You're just pretty. It's fine.
Show me.
I'm just here for the ride.
That's what we
Literally.
sweetheart.
Just did the fucking cactus pose.
Oh no.
That whole 8 points was, look how flexible I am.
No.
Eight's fine. It's not a disaster. It's not a disaster. It's not a disaster. So you gotta
It's
step
not the
it
title
up.
of the sex.
You gotta step it
Not
up.
the title of the
Not
sex.
the title of your sex.
We're gonna find out. That's after rolling 2 natural 20s in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway,
Oh
So
my
the-
god.
so you guys do some bird hearing. Not necessarily bird
Bird
hearing.
hearing.
Do some bird hearing.
I totally forgot that this is like dusk nighttime-ish.
Yeah.
You can't really see anything.
Because I was like, oh yeah, there's a bird.
You can.
Not a lot of birds that are awake that time of night.
I did say it's not usually awake.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's other birds that are very pecky. That are attacking.
Petty and aggressive.
I hear something. It's a
You
cicada.
can hear. I mean, when I said go ahead and describe the bird, what I was hoping that you would describe would be some kind of owl, but here we are.
It's a fucking Kevin. It's some sort of flying Kevin.
What the fuck is this hummingbird doing here?
Where does it tell you you have dark vision? Because
On the
If
first
you
page.
don't have dark
Racial
vision,
ability.
I'll
Yeah, first-
riot.
It should be right under passive perception.
I totally believe you.
So
You
first
keep going,
page.
I'm just looking.
Okay.
Senses.
Yeah, see, I can see the birds.
Well, now it is
You
the third day.
Oh,
You're about halfway through the travels to Ravendale, and I'm gonna need all 4 of you to roll a d12.
Actually, I'm gonna walk on the way, like walking. I'm gonna try to spot some of the birds.
Christopher Walken.
All right, roll a perception.
5. Could be 8, you ready?
Oh,
An
that's
8.
not an 8. I don't think I wrote down
1.
proficient either, but I'm pretty certain.
10? 12.
Oh, mine was a 10
Persona Bliss.
for the D12.
So, what was it again?
A 1, 10.
1, 10.
12.
All right, reroll.
You
You sure?
real?
You can't have 2 the same.
Oh.
I thought it was the luck of the die.
2.
All right, with that, crash, and we have a encounter. As you guys are walking along, marching along with the Pillars of Bahamut, you see a plume of smoke start to billow out from the eastern forest, and there's like, you can see like the captains kind of look at each other like, okay, and they keep walking as normal, and then you hear several explosions in the distance, just, like 2 more plumes come up, 2 over in the wooded area, and 1 from the hills, and there's like, everyone's just kind of like, everyone's getting a little bit restless. You can hear like the rank and file, like the pace is being brought up by a little bit, so they can rush towards what's happening. And as you guys get closer and closer, the sounds of battle are ringing out. You can hear an unfamiliar language being shouted out for everyone except for Ani, who recognizes it as Orcish. And you can hear them being told.
I understand it.
Oh, well then you understand. Do you really?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Do you have any idea how many languages I know?
Clearly not.
That's why we're
Apparently
such
you
good
knew
friends,
Dwarven
'cause
as
we
well,
talk
so
to
you
each
just
other.
know all these fucking
I know so many languages.
Alright. Well, Adi and Des then understand Orcish, and it's just basically battle cries, attack the healer, attack the leader, blah 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 blah. Just basically tactics being yelled out through everything. And as everyone is approaching, you see a large battle being taken up by what seems to be a very, very large number of orcs, and not nearly as many dwarves also being basically being pushed back towards the hills as they kind of fight over the territory of using, like you assume, to use the road, not expecting a sizable army in itself to come up the southern flank. So as you guys kind of rush in along with everyone else, the battalion kind of breaks apart and they kind of breaks into skirmishes. You see Assyrian kind of click his boots together and just zoom northwards towards more of the plumes of smoke. And like, you see Yasadi run off into the run off into the wooded areas close to another plume of smoke, and you see Korash just kind of he kind of like feels the wood on his staff and then disappears.
One might say he feels the wood of his staff.
I mean, he definitely did that, but I don't like your tone.
I need
All right, so
I need
the
a mattress here so I can just fall off my chair occasionally.
Boo.
so the 3 of you kind of watch as the captains split off and do their own thing, and also Korash just kind of winks out of existence.
He winked.
Yep, they didn't wink at you, but yes. Alright, so you guys are seeing all these kind of battles starting up once again, now with your battalion of the Pillars of Bahamut attacking some of the orcs, trying to drive them back. And there's a bit of confusion along the way, like the orcs are kind of like, what's happening? There's some dwarven crossbow bolts being flown across the thing. We're kind of getting not necessarily like aiming the correct way, and like some of the Pillars of Bahamut kind of like turn, the shield comes up and it rings off of one of their shields, and you hear them scream over towards the general area of the hills, like, we're on your side, assholes. And so eventually it kind of like spreads out into this big chaos, and then as you're marching forward, you see a group of 6 orcs and a orc war chief attacking what seem to be 3 dwarves that are being driven back towards the hills. And now, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to say? Because they don't necessarily notice you at the moment.
want to help the dwarves. Do I recognize them?
You do not recognize the dwarves.
Do I recognize
Jimmy.
anything about the orcs?
Tez isn't like that.
Do you recognize? That's a good question. You got make a perception check.
So what do you?
Looking at the orcs. 11 plus. So 17.
17. You recognize the tribe. It's one that you would expect to be in the area, but they're not quite sure why they would be attacking so far to the west. Usually there's not a whole lot of reason to be attacking one into a group of hills and two dwarves. They're kind of known to be very stalwart and very, like, they're pretty good at defending their territory. They must be, something very wrong must be happening for them to be so desperate to attack into that kind of situation.
Well, unfortunately.
Stop! Don't fight! I shout loud enough for the other orcs to hear.
Alright, so the orcs kind of like that are just one of them like kind of punches one of the dwarves in like the shield. It doesn't really do much, but then he all kind of looks over and kind of like stares at you. He kind of looks at your companions. It's like, the fuck do you think you're doing? Are you on our side or not? And he punches it again.
I said stop fighting, and I kind of invoke my military rank as the chief combat medic. Because I have an insignia on my arm, and probably my armor.
Make a persuasion check.
Thumbs up.
It sucks. That's a 1.
He tells you to go fuck yourself, and then once again swings at the dwarf. And now you are going to take an initiative roll.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unfortunately, Whisper doesn't care whether or not you guys want to suss the situation. She saw Ace run in and she's running in.
Are you trying to follow Ace all the way through, or are you staying with the group?
Let's say I'm staying with the group for simplicity.
Okay. Fair enough. He basically freaking just Sonic the Hedgehog bolted.
Yeah, I can't do that. Even giant.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so let's do... Everyone already roll? Oh, not yet.
Nope.
Everyone roll for initiative. And we're gonna go 20 to 25.
No, roll the dice to know the number.
There we go. We all roll? Okay.
Yeah.
15 to 20.
15.
Alright.
You gonna switch it to the map?
Yes, you can go to the map now. Whisper. Alright. 5 to 10.
Oh, it's me. 7.
10.
We get 10 for Dez. And you had 7?
Yeah.
7 for Jonas. And what did you have?
3?
3.
I have no idea. That's picking me up on the mic.
Remember that whole
Find out
negative
later.
2 thing?
It's every time I breathe
Doesn't
out.
work.
It's so annoying.
Now, Ordice has been with you guys. She kind of was helping you guys along with the march. You see her also wink out the same way Korast has.
We should do that.
Gripping the wood with the staff.
No.
Her staff was metal,
Okay.
but
And-
sure.
It's
You know,
more
So
like...
harder. It was a harder staff.
One second we were
Right.
surrounded by everybody, and the next everyone kind of just bolts. These pillars' military tactics are something to be seen, huh? Or not, for what?
It's definitely become more of a skirmish than a military-like battle. That's for sure. Like there's a lot of confusion going on within the ranks of seemingly the dwarves because they saw an army coming up and did not seem to think, oh, that's something to help. They seem to not quite be into the whole prospect of that. So in any case, the first up in initiative would be Whisper.
Alright. Can we put our pieces
Yep, go ahead and put your pieces on.
Where do we want to be?
I'm figuring probably coming from that side of the log.
Yes, you guys are coming from the south side, so
Kind of talked to them, so I guess I'm kind of in the front.
yeah, you would be in the front. Where does everyone else want to be?
in the frontish, I guess. comes with base.
This.
I'll be next to Eddie.
A little farther back here. Okay.
Zama's be next to that log right in front of it.
Yeah. This right here.
Do you want me to help by moving the people, or do you want to move them?
I got it.
So for my turn, I'm gonna run up to the nearest orc, stab him.
There you go. Gosh, that's so complicated. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can't quite make it.
It's
What's your speed?
30.
30.
Maybe I've got something else I can do. Let's
I should
see.
have like a rune of make me go further.
Rune of Zoom.
Yeah, I do
Rune
not.
of, rune of Zoom!
I do not have Rune of Zoom, unfortunately.
It's more like just Thor's hammer, but instead he just...
Is he within 15 feet of me?
It just pulls you like... I guess it was just
no.
Thor's hammer. Isn't
No? Okay.
He is-
Then I'll ready a stab in case he comes near me.
You want a stab, boy?
Alright, so you're ready in action to stab in case you get in if anyone comes near you?
Yep.
Okay.
Ready a stab. Get over here. You want a stab dial.
Okay, so Whisper has a ready to action going. Next up is this orc right here. You see him kind of like step up towards a dwarf and attempt to kind of throw him backwards. Like you just, like with a club in one hand, free hand in the other, just. He does not succeed, so you kind of see him like try and grab the dwarf and like push him, and the dwarf just kind of like does a little like chop across with its mace and then come down and try and attack him. But it's just kind of like, and they both kind of just bounce off of each other. So that dwarf has held his ground against the orc chief. The orc chief, however, will use its bonus action to pop a potion out, and you see him quaff it and throw the glass away into in a fit of like disgust. Like, you just see him kind of like crack his neck, punch his hand, and just reset.
That can
Next
only
up.
be good.
Next up is Dez.
Woo! Really? Wow,
With
with a
half my
10?
initiative.
Yeah, orcs, you might be surprised, are not the most dexterous of creatures usually.
Gotcha. Alright,
Also, they just roll really bad, so that's kind of how it goes.
so I have a range of 30 for my crossbow, so I guess just get me close to the nearest orc to shoot.
Okay.
And I will go ahead and put a hunter's mark on somebody.
10, 15, 20.
Like, at the furthest out of range you can put me at.
Yeah, I'm counting.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright, I'm gonna hunter's mark him first.
Right here?
Yeah. Hunter's mark.
Hunter's mark is the green one.
Hunter's mark. You are marked. By me. I'm a hunter. Haha. Gotcha.
Alright.
I got you.
He is so marked.
And then you. I'm gonna go ahead. Is he? He's 5 feet within somebody, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He's 5 feet within 2 people.
Bet. Alright, well, I can only do one. But. Here we go. I ain't gonna do it. Alright, I got a 3. Which, I mean, it's gonna be not enough. 8.
To hit? No.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go for his buddy.
You fire off one of your crossbow bolts and he just kind of like dodges to the side and it flies out towards the hills and just kind of like ricochets into nothing.
Aim's a little off.
It's okay, it's new gun, who dis?
A 10.
10 to hit will not do it either, unfortunately. So that one, it will hit him, as in like it will make physical contact with the individual. However, he just kind of like holds up a hide shield, just kind of like goes boom, and just boom, and then ricochets away. Okay.
Not a very exciting round for Des.
It's okay. Next up will be the dwarfs. So this one is going to just kind of like turn and try and do his best to attack that orc chieftain. It's going to go super well, but we'll see. Double 10. Nope. So like he just kind of like is flailing around trying to like kind of get away from him and try to like fend him back. Doesn't seem to be working too well. The orc chieftain just kind of like bears down and growls back at him. This dwarf over here is going to try and attack this one with a hunter's mark because he saw that you were focusing. He was like, oh well, sounds like a good idea. I'll try that.
Nice.
Rolls absolutely abysmally.
Damn it!
So he just kind of like weakly hits the orc on the ass a couple times.
Yeah, I'm gonna say in Dwarvish.
Experimentally, is it magic?
No magic ass, unfortunate.
Woof.
Alright. Third one is going to be this one who's going to take out a heavy crossbow, just kind of like bend down on one thing, just kind of like fire it off at the hunter's marked one as well. Because it seems to be that's where we're kind of working that way. And he rolls a 19. So that will actually do some damage. It doesn't actually, your hunter's mark doesn't help them though, does it?
No.
I didn't think so.
It's only
That's what I thought. And he will do that damage for 6 damage, which isn't too bad.
What's that, a D10, right? Oh.
It's a heavy one, but it's for a dwarf, so. You're smaller than usual. Alright. Next up is going to be a whole ass host of orcs. And they're gonna do some stuff.
We're gonna
Alright.
do some orc stuff. Orc stuff.
They're gonna do orc stuff.
Orc
I'm
stuff.
hoping I get to stab one.
Orc stuff.
The orc who got shot is kind of like looked like he was going to, he might have been thinking about it, but then he got shot in the ass. He was like, ah! And so he turns around and doesn't pay attention to you. This one kind of like runs forward a little bit, but waits for his teammates to get there. And they all just kind of like turn that way.
Great.
30. That's as close as they can get. That. This one's going to kind of close ranks there to try and get a bit of a flanking bonus, which he will because that's flanking. Just gonna roll a bunch of stuff. That's a 2. That's a 15. Alright. How many are there?
Yeah.
There's 6.
Okay. I was like, I'm hearing a lot of rolls. Is there more?
There are a lot of rolls. That is how it kind of goes, unfortunately. Okay. So, the orc here is going to miss on this dwarf. So this dwarf is just kind of like trying to fend away 2 different people now. These 2 will attack this one right here. One of them does get an attack off, and it does 3 damage. So let's see. We got that guy.
Little swipe to the cheek.
And then this one right here, these 2 will take some shots at Whisper right here, who's run up. One of them does hit, does 3 damage.
Even on my AC 18.
Mm-hmm. They rolled a 19. That's how it be sometimes.
Rude.
One of the arrows does glance off of your armor, but the other one kind of finds a little dent in it because like kind of like gets hit and you're just like kind of recoil and then goes into the joint. And it hurts, but it's a glancing blow. 3 damage, not too bad. You've had worse for sure.
I definitely do a frosty little.
Nice.
Definitely took more penetration than
Emotional
Menace.
damage. Alright. Which brings up Giannis's turn.
All right. So Jonas is gonna move. Let's go like 20 feet ahead of him. Cat, or someone can move him.
What's it?
So Jonas, about 20 feet forward.
5.
Can I go towards the other side of Des?
So like.
Just, I want to be like right next to Des.
Okay, that's fine.
That's perfect, right there.
Okay.
And he is going to use Gust of Wind.
Okay.
And just make it 60 feet long, 10 feet wide, and just push the shit out of him. So you see,
everybody in this line is gonna get pushed. Okay.
Yeah. And so you see, him just take the trident and like the stone on the middle prong, and he's trying to, he just shoves it forward, going at it.
All right, let's make some saving throws.
Woof to our dwarf friends.
Well,
Does the magic go off without a hitch, by the way, or?
we're gonna find out.
And these are straight saves, just so you know.
Okay. Spell goes off without any hitches. We're gonna make strength saving throws for everybody.
DC 13.
All right. Fail. Fail. Pass. Super fail.
Yes. I don't know how many
Fail.
Like, oh, all the doors failed. Oh no.
I haven't even gone to the doors yet.
Oh, thank God.
First dwarf passes. This man right here passes. Second dwarf passes.
Sturdy little fuck.
Chieftain passes. Okay.
Damn it.
So
Oh wait, no, chieftain's the guy, the dwarf guy. Right.
this is the chieftain. This is the orc chieftain.
Oh damn.
He did pass. So what is it doing now?
It pushes them 15 feet. Let me just double check. 15 feet away from me in the direction following the line.
Okay, so we're gonna go
It's gonna go full
5, 10,
Essentially, I saw them like start charging us, and I just went,
15.
fuck no.
5. All right, so we're gonna get a little crowded over here.
Yeah.
And they're all gonna like knock into each other, kind of. And I'm gonna make them do a
And just
dexterity saving throw. That one passes. That one does not. So I'm just gonna make him take 1d6 damage. So he takes 2 just from like the weapons and shit kind of clanging around it, like big bodies kind of like crunching it. So this guy right here will take 2 damage. Right, the one right in the back.
Nobody falls prone.
Do they fall prone?
no, I mean not according to the spell, but the anybody in that space of 10 feet wide, 60 feet long, they spend twice as much movement.
Oh, because it's still going.
Yeah, it's
It's
concentration.
a concentration spell.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm just literally just constantly pushing this with my trident.
For a minute.
Makes perfect sense. So we've got a
I am a fire extinguisher.
strong headwind going this way.
Yeah.
So if I shoot my crossbow into the headwind,
Amplifies the
Ooh.
damage.
do I get piercing from that? One armor piercing. One person piercing.
As fun as that sounds, I don't think so. I may give you maybe an extra damage or 2
Yes.
because it just for the increased velocity.
Just for the fun.
Flavor of cool.
Yeah, that's just because that sounds pretty sweet. That sounds pretty good. That sounds
Right.
pretty sick.
We're using tactics. We're tacticizing.
We're tacticizing. All right, Adi.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and which one was shouting at me?
This one, the one was starting was like over here.
Is he about 60 feet from me?
5, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65.
So that's fine.
Okay.
I'm going to use my aggressive dash, which I can do as a bonus action, to dash towards him, which gives me 60 feet of movement. So it puts me wherever you just pointed.
Okay.
And then I'm going to shout at him. I'm going to growl menacingly and tell them all to drop their weapons.
Which means they must.
I'm going to use Channel Divinity, Orders Demand, and all targets within 30 feet that I choose make a Wisdom saving throw.
Or they're
14, or they're charmed, and I'm going to have them drop their weapons.
Okay, so let's do
14 of a Wisdom save.
everybody within a 15 feet radius? 30
30.
feet radius. Okay, so that's everybody.
And I'm gonna go ahead and make the dwarves do it too.
Okay. Well, let's take this from closest to me and then move up. So let's go with the blue man first. He rolls a 1. So you want, and then, okay, so we'll say he's charmed. Next is Hunter's Markman. He rolls a 19, so he's fine. It's you. Next dwarf. Fails. Orc. Fails. Orc. Fails. Second dwarf, or third dwarf, passes. Orc. Fails. Orc. Passes.
Well, don't
Orc.
the dwarfs have to understand what she's saying?
Nope.
This
Passes.
is vicious mockery.
And Orc War Chief
It's channel divinity.
passes. Okay. So, what do you want everyone who is charmed to drop their weapons?
I do.
Okay.
And can I ask why they're fighting?
Can the weapons fly into the chieftain?
They just drop them.
So it's like
No.
You drop them, but the wind carries it.
The wind's not that powerful.
Not for like full damage, like 1d4 on a failed dex save.
No.
Damn it!
I appreciate your attempts to appeal to me for that being super silly, but no, I don't think so. Alright.
Yeah, I want to shout at them to put their weapons down and tell me why you're fighting.
Alright, so and these 4 as well, and then the rest of them passed. The 4 orcs just kind of look confused as to what's happening, but like they drop their weapons as well as this dwarf as well drops his crossbow. And they're just like, dwarf's like, they were attacking us. What do you mean? Well, we're just defending our hills. And they're like, we found tons of signs for intruders in our woods. They're definitely coming in and attacking us. They're definitely coming in and taking our resources. We can't stand for this. This is ridiculous. And then they just kind of bicker back and forth a bit between the two of them, between the two groups. And you just see them kind of like, they're not fighting like the other one, like this little group is still fighting. They completely ignored you. But like this whole group is kind of like shouting at each other instead of physically fighting at this point.
So they're only charmed until my next turn. Can I? And I don't know if I've used a lot of my action now.
Channel
was
Divinity was the
Channel
action,
Divinity.
and then the bonus action was
So
your
yeah,
dash.
I doubt I can talk anymore.
You can still say words. It's just
You can say something, but
Yeah.
you've basically gotten the information that each of them thinks that the other one has slighted them by invading into their space, and it has erupted into this kind of crazy skirmish.
No, Whisper is not intelligent.
Probably into my turn.
Oh,
So
Zol.
she wouldn't draw the inference that I am. That sounds like our friends in the chromatic spectrum are raiding these orc camps for supplies.
It's not what she's saying.
It's not what Whisper's saying, but somebody really intelligent like this might.
So yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Well, that's the end of the round. So you guys can take a second to like kind of, if you want to talk about what you want to do in this situation.
Well, I'm not convinced that they're really going to stop fighting.
It doesn't seem like they're interested in stopping fighting. It seems like, especially with the war chief, who has been pretty aggressively trying to beat on the dwarf in front of them, like they have not stopped.
I can't grab one of the dwarves without getting into the turbine myself. I was going to pull him out of the wind.
Yeah, you would have to make a DC 16 strength check?
13.
13.
Well, I do have a rune for that.
I can fix that.
Yeah, bear that. Well, I don't know. My inclination is to stab and protect dwarves.
Actually, could I? Can
I also have a breath weapon. Doesn't do a whole lot, but I can get a whole lot of coverage. I know Addie wants to talk to him.
Yeah,
I know
I'll
that.
probably
Whisper
be
does
trying
not.
to talk.
Okay.
Whisper doesn't.
Well, in that case, let's get on with the.
Does Jonas have anything?
What's that?
I guess Jonas is concentrating. There's not much he can do.
Yeah, he's just pushing.
Okay. Well, in
What
that case,
about
we can go on to Whisper's turn.
Well, does have anything? Real quick.
I was gonna try to see if I could insight check, but I don't really know.
You'd have to do it on your turn.
On your turn, yeah. And I think
Well, you go after Whisper.
Yeah. You are second. Or no, you're third after the warchief.
Well,
Okay.
I know what I'm gonna do.
All right. Let's go. You can get it. He can do anything about it until it gets to his turn. So.
Well, they don't have to be charmed for you to do your insight check, so I'm just gonna run up as close as I can and breath weapon.
And you're just gonna try and get like where we.
Like
Do
in
you
front
care
of the
about you're gonna get
hunter's
this guy, or
mark
do you just want to get everybody?
I
Like including the dwarf or no?
think I can avoid the dwarf and get those
So you just-
four.
You can avoid the dwarf, but you'll miss out on attacking extra
That's fine.
orcs. Okay,
That's
so you're just gonna go
It's
over,
not gonna do that much
over
damage.
here and just attack these four.
Yeah, 15-foot cone.
Okay.
And I need to refresh my memory on this here breath weapon because I never used it.
Yeah, let me know what the DC is when you have it. That's a 1. That guy did not make it.
My DC is 12.
All right, so and it's a dexterity,
Constitution.
Constitution. Okay. In that case, 3 of them do save, and 1 of them massively fails. So, 2. Alright, how much damage is that?
That is 8.
So 4,
Oh, it's a ball. Like a flask.
You bought that.
Yeah.
4,
That was at the one in the tube.
4,
I still keep
and
it.
then 8.
Nice.
Okay. So you see a bunch of the orcs kind of like hold up their hands to kind of shield themselves from the biting cold of Whisper's. I knew I was going to do that eventually. Whisper's breath weapon, and the final one just kind of looks around like what's happening, and then just ice shards and like things that you can just see their eyes and their kind of membranous things just kind of freezing over as they kind of like cough and spit it out. Okay. It's not bad. It's a pretty good little dose of damage.
Just a little.
Alright, which means that it is the Orc Chieftain's turn, who he will once again try his best to beat the shit out of that dwarf. It's a better roll at least. Alright. So the giant club that he's got, just you see him like come down, and the dwarf just like holds up its shield, just like, and you see it's like knees, you see his knees buckle a little bit, and just the chieftain roars one more time and just comes down with the giant hammer, and just you see the dwarf just go and just flatten.
Oh.
You hear so. Oh! And you hear the war chief kind of like growl and hold up his warhammer and push his
Sorry, John looked at me.
and push his warriors forward as they continue to attack. Which brings up Dez's turn.
Alright, Dez is kind of. Well, I guess Giannis's wind is going to be kind of in the way. I have to make a strength save. I was going to try to run around to call at the war chief to, like in Orcish, call at him to like lead the people off or whatever. Try to like I don't know if it's intimidation or if it's more persuasion.
Well, what are you trying to get him to do?
I'm trying to like say like, hey, like
Call these people off.
yeah, call it off, like, or else, you know.
That would be intimidation.
Yeah.
I guess the chief.
All right, so
Can my growlingness in front of him give Des aid for advantage?
Unfortunately, no. Usually, maybe, but this time, definitely no. Because he does have a specific effect on him at the moment.
I see. Okay.
For the whole drinking potion thing.
I see.
Des is gonna yell out like, "Clear out of here!" Like, you know, like that kind of stuff, right? Like she's gonna be calling out specifically to him. Like she's gonna be looking him in the eye, or at least attempting to. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
I'm not in Andersville anymore.
I thought you were doing insight.
Insight to what?
Yeah, talk about it, but do it.
I thought I was doing insight, but I was like, I don't know if I'm.
Intimidation.
Yeah, I know. I just.
Did I say insight? I might.
No. I
he
thought
talked about doing insight.
I thought about doing insight,
That
but
was him.
I'm like, I don't know if there's much to suss out here. I think I just need to try to.
And you could absolutely make an insight check if you want.
No, that ain't gonna do it. Sorry. Yeah, I'm only got an 11.
11's not gonna do it. So like you yell out to him, he's like, "Clear out here!" And he just kind of like is looking down at the dwarf that he just kind of smacked into the ground. He just kind of goes like, "Fuck you."
I tried
And
to tell him.
and he spits on the dwarf.
Oh, yikes. No, that's bad.
Alright, I don't know what the hell I'm trying to insight here. That's some firm disrespect.
Yeah, you can insight to see what he's thinking if you want, I guess.
Hey, I'll see what is.
Yeah, go ahead. No, roll. Do it.
God damn it.
Okay.
God damn it.
Roll your insight check.
He's got something prepared, I can tell in his eyes. God! No, I'm not gonna suss out anything with this.
No, you'd be surprised.
It's probably pretty simple. I got an 8.
He's thinking, go fuck yourself. The DC for that one was very, very low.
Okay.
Anyway.
Excellent.
Next up is the dwarfs, who are kind of like still buckling as this one kind of is more or less crushed. This one's gonna be like, he's gonna kind of like swear in dwarvish under his breath, which I'm pretty sure only Des would understand, unless anyone else knows dwarvish.
No.
Actually, oh yeah. Yeah, of course, you just said that, I know. Of course I know. Of course I heard him. Sorry, that was a lot.
Are you gonna fucking make it?
No. No.
So, you see the dwarf who had previously dropped his crossbow because he was under the charm, and still is under the charm of Adi.
Yep.
But even if he's charmed to not pick up his weapon, he is going to instead kind of like turn to his friend that was just basically crushed. And you see him start to hold up a religious symbol, close his eyes, and he starts murmuring in Dwarvish. You see like a small golden light envelop the dwarf that was just beaten up pretty bad, and you see him kind of like like wipe the dirt off of his face as he regains a few hit points.
Wow.
And then he uses the rest of his movement to just kind of like go into here and kind of try and defend the dwarf that's being surrounded. He still doesn't. He is literally charmed to not be able to pick up a weapon at the moment, so not much else he can do. The other one, who is currently being encircled, is going to just kind of like he's just kind of thrashing around, just trying to hit whatever is near him. He's kind of panicking a little bit. a lot of his panicked things, he kind of like whirls around and gets one of them right in the knee, and you just see the orc's knee kind of, this orc's right here, his knee just kind of buckle a little bit, like, ugh, and he kind of like takes it off balance for a second. He doesn't do too much damage though, so. Orc is still standing. After the dwarves is a bunch of orcs. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna see what the orcs have in store. This one's gonna come up. It's this one. This one's gonna go full. Well, he's not gonna do that. If this dwarf right here is going to take his opportunity attack on the hunter's marked orc as a reaction. He does hit, so like right when the orc kind of like turns to keep his to divert his focus, he just kind of catches a warhammer to the back of his head and he just kind of stumbles forward into where he was going to go anyway.
Onto my sword.
What's that?
Stumbles forward onto my sword.
You know what? If you want to take your reaction to make an attack on him, I will let you do that because he is distracted.
Oh, God. Yeah, I got it. It's like on. It was perfectly corner up.
Okay, you can reroll it.
$6,
18?
18.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Cool.
Go ahead and roll for damage.
Damage!
Dablage.
What's your damage, man?
7.
Alright. So that orc who
You fell on my sword.
kind of like he's gotten hit by like a couple different things just kind of like from flailing, so like he just kind of gets bounced around, gets hit in the leg, gets hit in the back of the head, and then just kind of head just goes straight through your rapier.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh.
Mocked a little too hard.
Yeah. So you have Shishka orked him, exactly. And so he was like, was going to come up here and then kind of like, actually, well, we're gonna have him go like here and then just, oh fuck. Okay.
Shishka orc.
He has been Shishka orked. All right. Now for the rest of the orcs to do silly orc things.
Or as the kids say, short.
Ooh. There's a net 20,
Heard that
baby.
many times in the classroom.
But have you heard this before?
And those orcs
Oh, it's gone.
do not have weapons, so they will not attack. However, one of them does get a crit onto Adi.
No, they don't.
Oh shit! Okay, you
So I'm
arguing
an
the.
adamantine chain shirt.
Awesome.
What does that do? What?
You made it up.
Can't be critically hit.
Cannot be critically hit.
Wait, what the heck is
Fuck
this?
you!
Wait, what? How did you get this?
When did you get this?
Was Andrew's an amazing DM?
Oh.
What is this shit?
It was one of the.
That's
Wait.
why I had a piece of
Listen,
chainmail to
I
wrap the
favoritism.
eyeball.
Anyway, I don't agree with that assessment. Obviously.
What's with your character and like having the strongest armor in every campaign I play?
Oh yeah. By the way, what's your dexterity for everyone at home?
Oh, not good. Not good.
Yeah. That's probably why she has all the armor.
That's fair.
You do, however, even though it does not critically hit you, it just kind of like
Yeah.
you can kind of feel like it like would, but you kind of like dodge into it, and you can feel the adamantine plate, shirt,
Chainmail.
chainmail, just kind of like absorb it, and just kind of like you just feel it radiate throughout your body. So you're just a little bit more sore in the morning from that critical hit, but you don't actually take more damage from it, but you take 5 damage.
You take 5. Ow.
Ow.
5 owies.
Instead of 5.
Here's the difference.
Is there? Next up is Giannis' turn, who is still concentrating on the
Gust
burst
of wind.
and gust of wind.
Yeah, he's gonna
Still
get as
blowing.
close as he can in this direction. So he
like
gets 30
5,
30 feet, sorry.
10, 15, 20, 30, like that.
Yeah, that'd be good. And
That wasn't close enough for this to be attack opportunity. I'm just
And he's going to use his action. Charm person is not concentration.
Are you sure?
He pulled it up.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
Seems weird. All right.
30 feet. Can I hit Orc Chief with 30 feet or not?
No.
He's too far out. Alright, who's the dwarf guy? This is the dwarf leader?
That is a dwarf.
So we can't tell which one's the leader?
You haven't tried to. If you would like to, you may make an investigation check.
Would that use my action to do that, or no?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, I'll do that
Just
then.
look at it.
That's not gonna do shit. 7 plus 1. 8.
Can't really tell.
Okay.
They're all just kind of like wearing the same similar military outfit. The only thing that you may think that one of them is a leader is that the blue one did heal one of them.
Okay. Man, let's see. 5, 10, 15. See, the thing is, I think this guy's the leader, but I can't reach him. Okay, so that gets rid of that plan. So I'm gonna use my bonus action then, because everybody's out of my range for charm person. So I'm gonna use my bonus action to move my gust of wind. I'm gonna move the line this way. So what was going this way, now I would try to push them this way to 15 feet. So I'm essentially just like guiding the gust.
So it's a line, but now you're making the line go that way.
Go diag this way. Yeah. So I'm pushing essentially this half more that way.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
All right. So you want to get? Do you want to make sure you get all of them and then get
If possible,
Audie
I'd like to leave this person alone. So I'd like to hit this
wanna go
orc
this?
if possible. If not, then 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. So these.
It's up to you on that one. So
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
DC 13 strength.
All right. First orc succeeds. Second orc fails. Third orc 20. And let's do chieftain. Barely makes it.
Okay, so only the first one failed.
Only
So
one
he gets
of
moved
them failed.
15 feet that way.
He just kind of gets blown back.
Yeah, so essentially the line is now coming like this. So this is now the difficult terrain, just so you know.
Okay.
So that was my bonus action. For that action, I am going to use it to yell across to the orc chief.
Okay. Doesn't really use an action, but what are you trying to do with it?
More because I'm trying to convince him. Like.
Okay, so you're gonna use your action to intimidate
him.
them or persuade them?
Man, I'm gonna go with persuasion. Actually, I'm not.
Okay,
trying
what are
to
you gonna
use
say?
Orc leader, I ask you to stand down so we may solve this peacefully. My men and me, we will try to make sure that both sides are treated fairly. Let us mediate this.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage because you have killed one of his soldiers.
Okay.
Like your party specifically.
Yeah.
You fell on the sword.
17 and a 14. And the 14 becomes a 17.
Okay. The orc leader kind of like looks at you and you can see like he's ready to fucking fight. But like your words kind of reach him and he's just like kind of looks at his dead, soldiers like, and then like this soldier that he just beat up got back up, so he's kind of like, well, maybe it's not such a great idea to be fighting. How do we know you're not just going to betray us?
I throw my trident on the ground. And I end the, what do you call it? The gust work.
The orc kind of like looks at you. He kind of like, he's got like his big warhammer on his shoulder. He's kind of like, and kind of like throws it down in disgust. Like, fine.
The next person to attack, no matter what side, shall feel the wrath.
Okay.
Yeah, I
You,
can get behind that.
All right.
And that's a promise. Puts her crossbow up.
Great. As you guys kind of look around, it's only been about, you know, I want to say 15, 20 seconds since the beginning of combat, because we've only gone through like, I think it's like, so like, there's a bit of a ruckus with the gust of wind. One of the orcs has fallen, but the orc chieftain has kind of petered out on his willingness to fight through Adi and also Giannis's attempts to calm everyone down. So as the battle around is still raging, but this particular skirmish is kind of like petered out. The dwarves kind of retreat back against the more. It's not necessarily as sheer a cliff as you're looking at, but it's like an impassable kind of like hilly terrain that they can't quite cross. This one also kind of retreats as they kind of like tend to their wounds and they kind of like talk it out. The orcs kind of like all group together around Adi because Adi's just kind of there.
Is the other orc dead? Or like...
Pierce to the head.
Do you have spare?
The rapier went through her face, so you could try.
But it would need magic, not
It hasn't been a minute yet, so it has to be a...
It could be magic, not a
spare the dying or
healer's kit, or whatever it's called.
Something would have to
Spare the
happen.
dying?
I don't.
Well, I figured I would.
Where's my thing with that? Because
I'm
I
more
have,
social
I
than paladin
have
currently.
a healer's kit. Would a healer's kit work, or would I need to use magic?
If you think that she's dead, like what is your perception here?
Can I roll a medicine check to find out if I need to use magic to heal the
Sure.
dead/dying orc?
Mm-hmm.
Natural 20.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna give you. She's breathing very raggedly.
Is she feeling my sword?
Then, with my proficiency in the healer's kit, I'd like to stabilize her.
Okay.
To remember what that actually does.
Does the orc chieftain look hurt?
She's
No.
just gonna have a personality change like Phineas Gage. It's fine.
It didn't go. I'm gonna retcon it. So it didn't go through her forehead. It just went through like a cheek.
I think it stabilizes her to 1
frontal
hit
lobe.
point.
Okay. If you do what?
Because I'm proficient, if I use one of the uses of the healer's kit,
Oh, it just does it. Okay.
because
yeah.
I'm proficient, it's
In that case, you can kind of you like patch up her face.
if I patch her up
Hi, Harvey Dent.
and I stitch her up just a
Knowing
bit.
orcs, she loves her new scarf.
It's true. She kind of like sits up. She kind of like shakes her head, and then she goes ah, and she says, "Fucking orcish," and she kind of like is holding her face as after you like kind of
I
like
use some tickling liquid to clean out.
ah fucking god why?
out the wound.
Why are you pickling my face?
Which will clean out the wound.
Oh
I
my
don't think that's true.
God. Have you heard of salt in the wound?
Yeah, it cleans it out and stops bacteria.
Ah!
First it gets stabbed in the face, and now
And
this.
now you won't die from disease, and Groomsh will appreciate that. Groomsh does not abide needless death.
She kind of like looks at you for the first time as you say that, and she just like sees that you're an orc. She's just like
An orc and an
like her freaking like her brain just goes blue screen for a second. Oh my face. Fine, whatever. Fuck.
Fuck.
Des is gonna come over and be like, need one of these? And like pass the shot.
Ah,
And then like
throws it.
Des is just gonna like look at that and just be like and have like 2 of them.
So yeah, like, so this orc is just sitting on the ground, holding her face, just not pleased, and she just like looks around as like no one's fighting anymore. It's like,
Stop hurting.
what the fuck happened?
Whisper is gonna kind of huff a puff of cold air at these guys that are currently in her face and be like,
They kind of like back up as you do the puff of draconic breath, and they're like, "Oh no, don't do that again, please." So they just kind of like all like, "Oh."
You're really in my personal space.
Well, to be fair, about 30 seconds ago they were trying to kill you, so it kind of goes with the territory.
yeah, no, that's why I'm
All right, so the orc chieftain
Back it up or feel the wrath.
is just kind of like growling at the dwarves and kind of growling at at your party, and it's just like, well, now fucking what are we supposed to do? He's just pissed that he was actually convinced to not fight.
Make the rest of your army stand down.
You want to go and try and tell an orc army to stand down? Be my guest, little lady.
Dwarves,
Lunge aggressively, but not attack him at that.
who leads you?
The dwarves do point to the one that
Was
healed.
found.
Mhm.
The one that healed or the one that was...
The one who did the healing.
did the
the
heal, the
blue.
blue. Okay.
He kind of like walks forward. I am Brunir. I lead these men. We were caught a bit unawares by this attack, but we've had some run-ins. As the orc has said, there have been trespasses in the woods, trespasses in our hills. There has been much strife along the coastlines. Even our sailors, if you can call them as such, have been harassed by many a different thing, including orcs, lizard men, kobolds, dragonborn men, all sorts. It's been quite the moon, and I'm not surprised that it has come to a head like this. But
The accusations against you, are they true?
kind of like looks around like, I can't think of any reason why we would go into their forest. What are dwarves going to do with orc anything?
What was your name again?
Brunir.
Vernier. Orc chieftain, your name please.
He kind of like looks around and says,
I have Addy come next to me.
Tybalt.
Addy.
Tybalt. He's cute.
I of course have names
Yeah.
for all of them.
Yeah.
So
I'm obsessed.
You said Tybalt.
Tybalt is the chieftain. Yes.
So wait, are they all named after the play?
Happen to be aware of a man named Dragonborn, Black Dragonborn named CM Tuck.
He kind of like looks around, kind of like thinks about it. Black Dragonborn. No, we've seen a red around, causing all sorts of trouble. You know how much red dragons love wood.
Are you
Whisper's gonna go,
Not a good combination for our forest.
Have you personally seen the dwarves ransacking your territory?
We've seen dwarves do that. Whether or not they are affiliated is neither here nor there at this point. We lack
Really
supply.
is, though.
We lack supplies. We believe that they have taken them. We must come and get them back. This is not something that we can abide.
Bernier, what do you say
Orc
to those
territory.
charges?
Hmm?
Bernier, what do you say to those charges?
Rainier kind of like folds his hands over his holy symbol. Like he's got the he's picked up his crossbow and is slinging it across his back. So like, sounds like someone's trying to cause trouble, and they're doing so very effectively.
We come from Cliffhaven. We're on our way to Ravendale. We heard screams and shouts and bursts of anger from the forest. Many villages we have seen have been attacked by a dragonborn force. Multichromatic ones.
Well, we haven't seen any in our hills, but that's by design. They're not exactly very accessible. So it makes more sense that these orcs have had run-ins with Dragonborn, even if they may deserve it or not. You just kind of, both groups kind of like growl at each other for a second.
Well, for starters, chromatic dragonborns causing trouble. You describing a red dragonborn causing trouble, and you not having supplies being trouble.
It sounds like a correlation to me.
But also, second of all, you've devolved into a southern accent.
Fucking, I told you it's virulent. I know. You don't have to tell me. It's not a thing that I want to happen, but it happens. Alright. As you guys are kind of explaining and kind of arguing over like whose fault it is, a orc kind of like gets thrown in from the
Out of orcs.
What's that? Yeah, I'm out of orcs. But like, it doesn't need to be on there because it's not a battle thing. But like, you see an orc kind of get thrown out of the tree line into the road and kind of like tumble around, and then you see Yasadi with her giant mace going to attack him, and she kind of like looks up and sees that no one else is doing anything, but she just continues to go after the orc.
Well, I don't hold person. I just go, wait.
What did you do?
Hold person.
All right.
I mean, check the range. Is it in range or?
60 feet.
We're not going to go with that.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm just going to do the magic check.
Yeah. Let me check what it is. Oh yeah, you're doing that thing. Gotcha.
Mm.
I'm gonna look up the type of save.
That's gonna be interesting.
It's a wisdom. Just so you know.
All right. So I'm gonna make. What's her save DC that she's making?
It's a wisdom.
Well, what's the DC?
13. Sorry.
Some shit's happening here.
Yeah. 13.
Alright, so she fails her string saving throw because the hold
shit.
person
That's
spell
not good.
that you've tried to cast has not backfired, misfired, and instead of a hold person kind of spell, almost like a wave of force has come out of your hand and just blasted into her, and she kind of like it hits her. She kind of goes with it, and she gets stuck to a tree, and she just kind of like is stuck there, and she's just you can see her kind of like try and move, but she can't quite get herself stuck. So it's not quite the hold person spell that you're used to, but it is effectively done the same job.
I did not mean to do that.
I didn't think so.
So she's just kind of like yells. She's like, "What is the meaning of this? Let me go!" And she just kind of like breathes ice at the trunk behind her, but it doesn't really. Just kind of like frosts over.
Orc still alive that was on the ground.
He's just kind of like,
Howdy.
yeah, he's alive. He's just kind of
Make
like
sure
trying to
he
shake
doesn't try
himself
to kill
off.
us.
Howdy.
I'm gonna go up to that orc, and I'm gonna reach down and pull him up so that he's like focused on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell her while I'm doing that, we need to get all the armies to stand down. There's no reason to
Good
fight.
fucking luck with that! And she kind of like continues to try and pull herself off.
Girl, this is a lot.
This is nothing. And she just continues to try and get off of the tree.
Tybalt, is this one of your men?
Yeah, that's one of ours.
Don't you have like a war horn or something you can blow to try to get in touch with everybody, or is everyone just this disorganized around here?
To be fair, this is our own party.
I do have this war horn, and it's for attacking.
Oh, there's no retreat.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to make assumptions.
He just kind of like holds it up to you.
You don't have like a
this.
stand-down flute?
Yeah, that might be.
No.
That would be good to invest in, though.
Alright, well, you can come back and we'll have a nice little story.
have
But
this
shut the fuck up, I don't care about your goddamn opinions.
I have this conch shell. The conch, it allows me to blow into its
Wait,
trident
that's
thing.
pretty.
Yes.
Can anyone talk
put it back on my
really
shoulder.
loudly? Because I can't. I mean, not louder than normal, and I don't think
Can you
everyone will hear that.
Can you what?
Speak loudly to tell everyone to stand down.
Are you using
It
commentary?
depends how loud I want to speak.
Oh.
I mean, like
I could shout.
Use thaumaturgy, couldn't I?
That would be the top very left.
I forgot
So what you
that
mean
we
is it?
are doing that. So
Yeah,
then
it's the same
there's
opera.
kind of like an area that I can walk up to see like the battlefield.
There's like you can go up into like the hilly area, like to the west of your position. There are elevated positions there, but there's also like a lot of other. It's not a very like open area, so like even if you were at a higher position, there's going to be cover from trees. There's going to be other hills that are blocking your view.
Okay.
So you can try.
I'll have Sybil and Brunia come with me, and then I'll try to kind of get to where I can see people and they can see us, and use thaumaturgy to loudly say, "Everyone stand down, no one needs to die today."
Alright, so the leaders follow you up onto one of the hills, and like as they're kind of walking next to you, you just see Sybil kind of pushes Brunner, and then Brunner kind of pushes them back, and they're just kind of like shoving and being petulant little shitheads.
They're like children.
They are cute.
Yeah, kind of.
They both kind of like stare at you like, don't fucking call us cute.
What? So, never.
Think it's me.
And as you go into,
What in the hell?
and you go into your thaumaturgy voice, and you project over the hills and over into the woods, you kind of hear the clangs and chaos and yelling kind of subside just like a little bit. Like as some kind of people are like, what? And they just, like both sides kind of look at each other. But there's still a lot of, like every so often there you hear just like an explosion from some kind of fireball or some kind of mechanism. Or somebody, you hear like a yell of somebody scoring a hit when they probably killed their target. And so like the chaos has lessened, but it is definitely not over. And again, most of the fighting is still to the north of you.
Can I shoot a firebolt into the air?
Nick can cast thaumaturgy on my voice. I have advantage on
It
intimidation.
is a cantrip, so technically shit could go wrong, but I'm just shooting as a flare, essentially, up in the sky. I'll use my trident. My arcane focus is my trident.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah,
Alright, so you shoot a firebolt. You shoot a firebolt into the air.
just like Tron poster.
Okay.
Or
Or Star Wars.
New Hope.
Oh, A New Hope. Yeah.
A New Hope.
Episode 4. Just like Mark Hamill.
It doesn't do a whole lot because again, a lot of it is blocked by what's happening. Like anyone who's in the trees isn't gonna see it, but like you see the firebolt go up, and some of the pillars of Bahamut, like the rank and file, kind of like gather. So you have like 5 or 6 rank and file pillars of Bahamut come in. Like, we saw a flare. What happened?
Fighting has ceased on this side.
You kind of like they all kind of like look at you, and then they look at the orcs, and they look at you, and look at the dwarves. They're just like, okay.
It was a disagreement?
So
Misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding.
and Yasadi, who's still stuck to the like, men,
God bless you.
get me off of this fucking tree. And they all just like, oh shit, and they all kind of like try and go over and pull her off, but she is stuck to that fucking tree. Like nothing, like there's no good on back
She's being
on
a
it.
little extra right now.
She is extremely angry, yes.
Just a little. Just a little extra.
Yeah, so the Pillars of Bahamut men are just kind of like trying to pull her off the tree or like try and like kind of pry her off with some spears. It's not working.
I'm sure if you promise to aid us, Janus will end his spell.
I have total control.
Make a deception check.
That was actually a really good rollback
Yeah,
right
it
there.
was. It was.
Do you want to make an insight
21.
Okay.
I'm charisma.
Everyone is very convinced that you're like, oh yeah, I meant to do that. That's totally a spell that exists that I did.
check? Yeah, you beat my 18.
I mean, if anyone wants to try and figure it out, they can, but 21 is pretty good. Alright, so
Good to
again,
see.
it's
Second level spell.
through the efforts of thaumaturgy and the firebolt, the fighting has subsided quite a lot. You haven't seen anything from Korast or Ardias or Ace yet, though if anyone has been looking northward, you would be able to see little gold blur running back and forth from here and there.
I was looking. I noticed Ace wasn't around, and I was like,
for the eggs.
Okay. But it has to be him. Who else would it be? Who else is that gold? Nobody.
Nobody else is
Go
gold.
convince your man to stop everyone fighting.
Maybe. Stop! But I do go.
Okay. Alright.
I look to the orc chieftain. They're soon to be married.
Mazel tov.
I love that the orc is Jewish.
Jewish, right?
This is how we get canceled.
Is that bad? I didn't mean it to be that way.
Now this is how we get canceled. Jewish orcs.
Oh no.
Orcs are good people in this game.
It's
They're
not-
clean and don't like disease, and they're good people who heal other people.
Yeah.
Orcs are not inherently evil in this campaign, so it's
Or
we,
Jewish.
we have well, they're not inherently Jewish either. That's true.
That one just happens to be.
Look, I've said Mazel Tov, and I'm not
That's true.
Jewish before.
Yeah.
Maybe just fucking said it. I'm not going to explicitly define this orc by whether or not he's Jewish or not. I think he was just being sarcastic, unfortunately. So let's just move forward.
But yeah, I go to the fray of where I see this gold blur zip zapping, and I go, Ace!
And he just like, super like, just like is right next to you, like, hey, how you doing? He's kind of like, he's got a few scuffs on his armor, and like he's got his great sword on his back, but he's got his hand on it, like, how you guys doing out down there? Hope I didn't leave you guys in too much of a rut. I figured you guys could handle it.
We could. We have found out that there has been a misunderstanding here that might be linked to our chromatic friends.
Really? Interesting.
Ace! As I wave from the distance.
He's like, hey, seems like you guys have it under control. And he just kind of like picks up Whisper and just
She
and
gets
then,
there
and
like,
puts her down. Yeah, and then puts her down next to him. Sorry about that.
we need to do that more.
Really, Ace's Wild West.
No, Ace just has boots of speed.
Oh, okay.
Or boots of haste, I should say.
Boots of Flash.
Boots of very,
Reverse
very
Flash
fast.
because it's yellow.
Boots of, I'd love to see what happens when you have those on later.
Oh,
You just fucking die.
Worth.
True enough.
freaking True Blood.
So he has his hand off of his greatsword now, and he's more like kind of just curious as to what's going on because he's looking around at the orcs who are kind of like glaring at him because like a new, very very intimidating, large, fast dragonborn has just kind of like appeared. Like, oh shit, okay. The dwarves are kind of like, what the fuck is happening here? This is the stupidest day in the entire world.
Drink to that.
Yes. So he's actually like, what do you mean there's a misunderstanding? Explain what's happening here, please.
The orcs have been ransacked of a lot of their supplies. They're in dire needs, and they are under the impression that this is being done by the dwarves. But the dwarves stick to these hills very religiously, so to
Strictly?
speak. Strictly.
Okay.
And they,
I've known dwarves to do that, yes.
yeah, as do I. And so they are very much like, why would we do that? That's not our thing. So it's clearly, it seems, I don't think either of them are lying, so something's not right. But they are talking about a red dragonborn causing trouble in the forest, which is a little suspicious.
When you say that, Ace's face kind of like picks back, like, oh, okay. Why would he be this far south? He kind of like mutters to himself.
What's his name?
Kind of shakes his head a little bit. You can see he's like definitely processing information, just trying to figure out like what the game plan of these individuals is by doing this.
Ciantuck's black. Dragonborn?
Yes. Ciantuck is the black dragonborn.
What color was Witcher? White.
White.
Is this related to one of the rumors we had, or at least I had heard of from the sailors about the Crimson Samurai thing?
No, but that is, I can see why you would think that. The Crimson Samurai was known for stealing weapons, and it does seem like he might be doing that, but it was more like a. he challenges them to a duel and then takes their weapon.
Musashi Miyamoto.
It's not. He wasn't so much a raider or like a bandit. She was more like a warrior.
Ronin.
It's like, well, and he just kind of shrugs, like, well, what are we supposed to do about this then?
If we could stop the fighting, I think that would be the best.
And for our sakes, I think that if we suss out whatever is causing this misunderstanding, this might help us figure out how to defeat our unfortunate friends.
Interesting. And he kind of looks around, and then he sees Yasadi, who is stuck to a tree. He's like, Yasadi, what are you doing over there? Stop hanging around and come on over, and we can get this all sorted out. And Yasadi's just like, fucking hate you so goddamn much.
She's a little bit aggro right now. She's in timeout.
Is this one of yours handiwork?
That was me.
He's in total control.
Would you like
It's not persuasion for me.
Would you like it released?
If you don't mind.
I'm gonna close my eyes really hard.
I'm gonna close my heart.
Close my heart off.
Close my heart to all the terrible things in this world.
And like put my trident in the ground, like blade down, so the gem arcane focus is no longer concentrating at all.
Okay. As you do that, and like all of the pillars of Bahamut men are kind of like still trying to pop Yasadi off of the tree, and she just goes flying forward because eventually there's no resistance, and so she just flies about 5 feet forward and lands on her face, and she just like and she's got her like mace in her hand. She just like sits, and she just stays there for a few seconds.
I will offer her a hand up.
Total control.
As she hears you approaching, and she kind of like looks up. She sees your hand. You can see her think about it for a second, and before she goes like, and then uses you to pull herself back up. She just kind of goes a little bit above you because she's a little taller than you.
For now. I get taller.
I see. That's true. You do get larger. That's very fair.
But I do kind of give her a friendly pat.
Well,
you look a little tired.
Whisper is still sitting there, but she is like.
Yasadi's just like, what did I do to deserve this? And just walks to the north where Ace had come from, and just ignores everything that's happening now. She just is completed. She has completed this interaction and is now leaving.
I made another joke.
I saw your joke. It was really good.
You saw it.
Yeah, I saw the look on her face and the look on your.
See joke that is cool ability.
Ace is watching this just like, what will she say now? And there's another like yell of battle to the north. Like, as entertaining as this interaction is, we really must try and calm the situation down if it is in fact a misunderstanding. So if you don't mind, excuse me, and he just blurs away by her
you
mace.
should have taken me with you. Okay, I go after.
As you guys walk more towards the north, you can see like little skirmishes being brought to a bit more of a calm state as Assyrian just kind of like runs, speeds his way through, trying to talk to some people. Sometimes he has to knock him out with his the butt end of his sword. It doesn't seem to be too much of an issue for him. And then there's a couple more times where Dwarven yelling is coming from the hills, and whenever there is, Brunier, like, you hear him yell out in Dwarvish, "Stand down, men, stand down!" And they all kind of like yell back and like, "What the fuck do you mean?" And they have a little like conversation of Rush Dwarvish as he's just trying to make sure everyone's not being attacked by dwarves and everything is kind of coming to a calmer resolution. And eventually the fighting does stop, and the two sides kind of like look around. They're kind of like, okay, well, we need to put out this fire. So you see a few magic users like throwing water onto the fire just to try and calm down the scars of battle. And at the end, you see two of the. You see there's a large group of orcs. There's a large group of dwarves, and they're all just kind of like glaring across from each other. There's a few other people in Brunir's kind of get up that is like, now that you can see it and it's not too much of a like chaos of battle thing, he does have like a few more medals. He has a couple of distinguishing marks. You can see that he is the leader. There's 4 or 5 more dwarven commanders for that. And there's also a few more slightly larger orcs that have the same kind of like battle horn that was you could hear being blasted throughout the battle as well. So they both of them kind of like congregate. They kind of like all glare at each other. They kind of like, and then eventually they start to disperse back to their sides until there's only like a handful of the commanders left. And you see them talking to each other like, how are we supposed to cooperate and occupy the same space next to each other if all the time there's things being stolen and all we see are these man prints in our territory? How can we not think that it's the people directly to our neighbor? How can we not know this? And then the dwarves are like, why would we come and steal any of your shit? We have all our own shit. We like stone tools. We don't like all this wooden bullshit. And it's just like, you say that, but run out of stone and you're gonna want anything you can get your hands on. And everyone knows that it's fucking chaos out here. There's a lot of bickering, a lot of like, nothing's really getting anywhere. If you guys want to like interject, or if you want to say anything.
Let's see. Des will interject and like she'll be like, all right, hold on, and she's gonna like she's gonna like say like let's calm down in Orcish, and she'll say let's calm down in Dwarven. Real quick. Okay. Yeah, doing a little bit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then she's gonna ask about like, okay, so you say that there's evidence to prove that dwarves specifically were raiding your camp, or have there been other sightings of anyone else around here that is also pilfering from either of you? Have you seen any other things other than just you two out here pilfering from, camps or areas?
One of the orc chiefs steps forward, and he says, "We found specifically dwarf footprints. No other race makes such small and deep footprints in our soil. Could not be anyone else. So either these dwarves are lying about being in our land, or there's some other group of dwarves that just so happen to be stealing from us as well. It doesn't seem very likely. Granted, we have seen other footprints from other races, but dwarves were absolutely part of that little raiding party that we found, and a destroyed camp from one of our tribes as well. This cannot be tolerated."
Is that camp nearby?
They kind of all look at each other. They kind of look at you.
I'd like to conduct an investigation.
She's a sheriff.
They kind of look you over, and they see the star on your shirt.
Literally the badge.
The badge on your shirt, and they're just kind of deciding if they want to trust you with the location to one of their camps.
I'll come stand up behind her.
All right, make a persuasion check with advantage because you do have an orc with you.
And a badge.
They don't necessarily recognize human authority.
I was like, I'm also speaking Orcish. That's gotta be something.
That does help as well, but I can only give you so much advantage.
I know. But maybe the
I'm
DC
just
is
stacking
lower.
for fun.
Oh, I did pretty well, actually.
Actually, I'll give you a +2 to it.
Yes.
Because why not? What is homebrew if not adding random bonuses for advantageous position?
So that's a 23.
They all right. So they kind of all right. Okay.
Was that an orc eye roll or was that a DM?
Wait a minute.
That was a DM eye roll.
Wait a minute. 23!
23! Anyway, the orc kind of turns, looks at you for a little bit more, and then points about a mile and a half into the forest that way. And you can You don't see any like burning, anything like that, but you do see like above there was the remnants of smoke. Like you know how like when smoke goes high enough, it kind of like condenses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you've seen enough fires to know like that's what that looks like. So there was a fire there recently, and that's probably what started this whole skirmish. And like it was one of those things where like okay, one group found another group, and then another group joined in, and then more groups, and then it was just chaos as more and more groups were just brought in, as opposed to like, you know, the standard thing where like you'd have two armies that clashed. This was much more like shit just popped off. So yeah, that was the starting point to this little kerfuffle. Is about, you know, probably half a day or so ago, a camp was raided and attacked, and they found footprints leading to the west where there are dwarves. So.
Okay. Does anybody else want to come with me to conduct this investigation, or does our little party
Only if Ace is
want to
going.
go?
I'll come.
I don't know if that would be wise, seeing as we're the unbiased party, and Ace is
I'll
clearly.
hold down the fort or whatever.
Ace isn't biased. Ace is in your party.
He's like the
I guess
least
that's fine.
biased.
The dwarves would be
The dwarves would be the other party.
Yeah.
We're just basically
Well,
here because we're traveling.
I figured he would be part of the biased party because presumably he ran off and he's like, all right, stab.
No, I think he said he went to go quell stuff.
No, he didn't.
Right or no?
You don't actually know if he killed anything.
Oh, okay. Well, then-
But he said he was going to go stop the fighting, right?
After you told him what
Yeah.
was happening, he went off and stopped the fighting non-lethally. You know for a fact that that's happened because you saw him do that. But while you guys were attacking, you don't know what he did. You don't know what he was doing. You just know that he was kind of going back and forth between two things because Whisper saw him.
Running away from an alligator, but doing
Right.
zigzag.
Yeah, he was trying to escape an alligator.
Yeah.
Those things are massive here.
Right.
I must keep
Well,
doing the Zorro sign.
I'd suggest we keep the party relatively small because we don't want the whole damn army showing up. That's kind of an invitation in itself.
Has anyone's... And Ace kind of like looks around and is like, has anyone seen Koros? Or Dennis? Where did they go?
They just sort of... And then they were gone, and I thought they did that on purpose, but I guess
It
they
was
didn't.
more than a snap, though. They actually vanished with the snap.
Ace will laugh at that. It's like, yeah,
That's what
I
They're
understand.
very helpful.
I understand. Okay, so they're probably hiding somewhere. And Ace will kind of like put his...
Are they in a relationship?
I don't think so.
Not yet.
No, Oradias doesn't like men.
Factual. So you hear him whistle, and he waits a beat, and you can see him like tap his foot a couple times, and then Koros kind of like not blinks so much this time as he just kind of like someone took a sheet off of like light, and then just kind of like appears.
Cool.
I picture the Dwight with Angela. Oh fuck!
Yeah, pretty much. And Oradias, unlike him, does blink back in. And she's like, well, that was unpleasant.
Disappearing?
Yes.
Did you go to a different plane?
Yes.
Ooh,
Pretty cool.
sounds creepy.
It is pretty cool.
It sounds kind of spooky.
It's
Sorry.
pretty spooky.
Sorry, what the hell? Another plane?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually not aware. I don't know. Like, I'd imagine Zez has seen some stuff. I don't know if she knows about
Jonas knows about
extra
the
planar stuff.
elemental planes, about it.
You can roll to see if you do. Make an Arcana check.
Let's do it for flavor.
Let's flavor it up. Let's flavor blast these
Because
goldfish.
Dez isn't religious.
We're gonna flavor
like,
blast these
too.
goldfish.
So like she kind of
Is
doesn't.
that religion? Or
It's
is
not
that...
religion, but it's saying like
Could be
some of these
religion.
supernatural things, like where it's like other planes and stuff. I don't know if Dez like.
Jonas lives, like, his home is at the rift to the elemental plane.
Oh, I
The
see.
water plane, so, like, that's the only one he knows about. But
Okay,
None
so
of my
that
stuff
would
has
be.
to do with planes. So.
What kind of roll did you say it was?
Arcana.
Arcana.
Or Arcana, however you pronounce it.
14.
that his home is, like, Jonas'
Um,
next to a water elemental plane. Like
The furthest you know about the plains is that one time one of your family members, you can't remember which one, said that ghosts were on the ethereal plane. That's the only plane that you know of. And that was because they were telling you a ghost story around a campfire.
I see.
And then those are real.
You went to the ethereal plane?
Yeah. How did you know that?
Lucky guess.
You see Ordaius is like she's a little surprised that you would know about that.
Knows nothing about planes. Guesses the perfect one.
She only knows one plane. There's only one plane to give
It's the
me.
vehicle one. Played it up.
To be fair, that's the most common one to go to.
Yeah, that's
because
fair.
Otherwise, you're going into some crazy shit. The ethereal
Except for
plane is at
Feywild,
least.
it's like the
Yeah, because the ethereal plane is just literally kind of like a blanket onto the prime material, as opposed to like the Shadowfell and the
right, 'cause
Feywild,
you-
which are like crazy shit.
Yeah, because you can see what shit's going on in the
Yeah.
material plane.
Yeah, no,
Ethereal.
Ordaius could see
Yeah.
the entire thing was going on, but she didn't want to interfere until it was necessary.
It's a cool plane.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, you guys want to do a little search party to investigate the burned up camp?
Sure.
Ace is
But-
going yes.
Ace is staying to make sure that the dwarves don't.
That's what I was going to suggest, is that we have someone
interfere.
stay, but Ace is...
I'm staying with Ace.
Okay. That's fine.
Can you make sure that these two sides don't fight?
Oh yeah, I'll make sure to. Hold on. Staring at Ace's house again.
Yeah, she'll make sure of something.
I will.
Somebody can.
I'll do my best. It's okay. I can become really enormous. So I think if they value intimidation, I've got it.
Orcs do value intimidation. From what
What's
I've
the
heard.
bit? Yeah.
Okay.
You can even see the orc.
will do this. Daddy.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, the orc who had her face kind of bandaged up. She's kind of like, what?
Yeah.
She probably doesn't like.
She's not like an acid. It's not like her face is gone. She just has like a little puncture.
She probably doesn't like me very much.
She does not glaring at you or anything. She doesn't seem to be
orc
too prepared.
respect.
You
Yeah.
stabbed my McFace.
This is one of those things like, yeah, we were fighting and you stabbed me. That's standard. It's pretty much par for the course.
Par for the stab.
Nice stab.
You got
by
my
the
wisdom
way.
tooth.
nice. Oh hey,
Yeah.
I was gonna get it extracted next week.
Not too bad.
This is way better, kind of, not really.
We also took out my tonsil. I did not want that removed.
Yeah, they're useless.
Where's my abdoids?
My endocrine system. Anyway.
Shit! This always happens to me.
Not my thyroid.
Not my gender.
Oh, right in the gender.
Whoa, that hurt.
Stabbed her right in the gender. Anyway. Alright, so that means that Giannis, Adi, and Dez are going to accompany one of the orc chieftains into the woods to kind of do a little investigation.
Investigation.
And like a couple of the other orcs go with you, and they're kind of like, they all kind of have their hand on their war axes and their great axes. They're just kind of like eyeing you like, this has all been a bit too clean and nice for what they're usually comfortable with. So like, kind of, they're starting to get a little antsy because now we're going into their territory with a couple of people that they literally just met. Whether or not you've proven yourselves to not want to fight is becoming less and less relevant as they go into their own territory. Okay, so you guys make it to the. You can make it into the territory. Like there's a bit of a clearing into the forest that you saw it before you got there, and you can see that there is definitely some smoldering cinders still going, and there's the remnants of an orc camp. There's like the bone tents that they like to put up have been smashed and thrown into the wind. A lot of the tarps are kind of hanging on to the branches of nearby trees. And a lot of refuse. Not a lot. It seems like whatever they were doing, if they were taking supplies, they sure seem to leave a lot. Because there's a lot of just bone weapons and armor just kind of strewn about. Gesundheit. One of the orcs says in Orcish. Because Orcish is German, I guess.
John was...
Power.
He was watching Nate sneeze, and as soon as Nate
As soon as he stopped.
put it on only Nate.
Wow.
It was fucking rude as fuck.
Absolutely, like, devastating.
And that's why Nate's over there going, I hate you so much.
I wish I could see that, honestly, but
Oh, you will.
I'll see it eventually.
Yeah, we're keeping it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Great.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Alright.
I actually kind of do like the orcs is German, but it's anyway. So, what do you guys? You guys are going to talk to the orcs? You're going to do a little investigation?
I'm
What
gonna do
you-
a little bit of just walking around, checking out stuff, doing a little
I'm
investigation.
gonna kind of
Well, you know what that means.
Roll
So make an investigation roll.
Can I assist in that? So you give him advantage.
Are you going to do your own, or are you going to help him?
trying to
Or help her, I
help?
should say.
You know what? I probably shouldn't because I'm not even proficient, so I'm not gonna do much.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, I'm
Yeah.
not going to
Can
let
I
you.
can I use a survival check to look at those footprints they had mentioned and try to determine
Absolutely
why
you
they're
can.
orphan and whatnot? Dwarfish.
I will accept your excuse to never use investigation.
Why? Got a 9.
There's so many footprints now because of how many people have just come through and done everything. It's hard to kind of parse which one belongs to which, but there's a lot of different types. Mostly orc, of course, but
Yeah.
you can tell there are other ones, but you can't tell what specifically they are.
I'm going to look at some of the. What am I trying to look at?
Yeah, you peeping?
I'm taking.
You peeping,
I'm
bro?
trying to get an idea if this was like what group this was from. Like if there's any sort of like tatters of like something hanging around. Like I dropped something and I just kind of was in a hurry to grab supplies and maybe there's something there. Like just kind of little bits and details.
Bits and bolts.
Trying to
Bips and bobs.
trying to find some bits
Bit,
and
not
bolts.
bit.
Go ahead and
Bits
roll a
and
dice.
Oh shit! I know.
Or a die.
Got a
Oh plural.
18.
I was expecting that one. Okay. You're kind of like looking around. You're looking underneath a bunch of stuff. You're kind of like trying to decipher what exactly the purpose of what's happened here was, and the only thing you can think of is like no one seemed to take much. So, in your mind, your idea is someone was just trying to cause destruction, not necessarily take supplies.
Seems like this was more just.
And there's lots of supplies around too. Like if you like, there's not a lot of gold because the orcs just don't have gold in their camps. But there's a lot of like rows, like weapon racks of axes and like armor stands, like crude armor stands made of like wood and things. But like it's all their armor is still there. It's just some of it's broken, some of it's tattered, some of it's not usable. But it didn't seem like a raid. It seems like just destruction.
Seems like it was just a targeted, quick attack to try to discombobulate this group. It wasn't so much a snatch and grab. It seemed like it was a quick smash.
And the orc chieftain is walking around as well, kind of like keeping an eye on you, but also like verifying what you're doing. Like anytime you look at something, he'll look at it too. And like sometimes he'll see something that's been broken and he'll just like get angry and he'll like finish ripping it apart. Like there was a bone stitched armor that was there that like had half of it ripped up, so he just kind of like took it, ripped it in half again, and threw it up. Just very like upset and angry. He's just tearing it. He's basically continuing to tear the whole thing apart, like just out of anger.
No, hold on. We're still conducting an investigation here. You can rip it up after we're done.
He doesn't listen to you.
It's not worse than Uncle Clan.
Is there?
Uncle
Do I
Clem's
see
a
any
bastard.
healer's kits or items that look like they could be used in a healer's kit lying around?
Yeah, you find plenty of medicinal herbs that you assume was used by, the healers of the orc tribe. That is, it's not so much a magical healing, but just, some herbs, some spices and such. Yeah, you could recharge your healer's kit.
Some
Okay.
medicinal.
I asked the orc
Some
chieftain, asked them if they're actually using them. Do you need all of these for grabs?
He kind of looks at it, and you can kind of tell he doesn't quite know what he's looking at.
They're really great for healing things, like stitching up wounds and cleaning them out.
Well, we've got plenty of
Holding the teeth. Probably.
we've got plenty of wounded, so we'll need at least we'll need plenty of these supplies. Do you need them?
It would be nice, yeah.
He kind of looks at the three of you. He kind of looks at his men. Take whatever you need. He's just kind of all right, fine, whatever.
Go ahead and refill them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's because you're cute and small and
You
he
can-
thinks you won't make it.
Yeah, he's so you can see at this point he's kind of taking some of the things that aren't completely broken and kind of putting them in the middle of the camp.
I'm gonna also
So try and as he's sorting things out.
I'm gonna also check footprints with survival and see what happens.
Okay.
Because I want to know. Fuck. Nope.
Okay. You kind of get the same feeling then. It's you see, you got a 1. Okay. You've never seen footprints before in your life. You don't even know what. This is an elephant made these. And then you think, what is an elephant? You don't even know that. So you're in left field now.
Fuck.
Can I?
If you can pardon the baseball analogy.
Can I roll it again with a much higher DC?
You're on thin ice.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, can.
So that's a 19 plus 3, so 22. Or no, plus 6.
25? Yeah, okay. You do see quite a few footprints that you would assume was a dwarf. Or, as it were, 4 dwarves. Because there are several different indentations that denote different stylings of boots.
Mm-hmm.
But you also find a larger humanoid style boot, a little bit elongated, like you would expect to see with a dragonborn.
Okay.
Because they've got the long,
Yeah.
kind of lizard feet that has to extend a bit from the boot. You also find a couple that you would think would be halfling, they're the same sort of size as the dwarves, but they're much lighter.
Okay.
They're much less depressed. They were a bit more sprightly on their feet than a dwarf and big, solid male trudging through the dirt.
Definitely dwarves, but probably a dragonborn leading them.
That is curious. I don't know if there's any way we could suss out if it was the red dragonborn, but
Well, not unless the scales line about.
do they just shed like that? I
The
guess
fact everything is on fire is also a little bit of a giveaway.
that's true.
I mean, not with -2 intelligence, it's not.
-2 intelligence.
I'm giving that particular thing away because
Can you read?
Yeah.
Hey, we agree
Barely.
Sam can read.
I think the reading is 6 intelligence overall.
And I have 7.
So does
So
Sam.
Look at you.
So they can barely read.
Flying colors over here. Literally just knows colors.
So I take it that, so now that we've kind of conducted our little investigation, I'm gonna mention to the chieftain this was definitely a hip job by a dragonborn that was accompanied by dwarves.
Or something.
So that proves that they're in league with him. What else could it possibly mean? Were you just gonna find dwarves just walking around the effing street?
Why would he say Evan?
Fuck.
This child was walking by. That's fine.
So
We gotta be nice around the youngins. In orc territory, you don't swear.
The
This is known.
What?
This is
Do the
sacred lands of
footprints.
Broom.
Do the footprints trail back towards where we found where the dwarves are? Are they trailing that way?
No, they are coming from the north.
Like these footprints
Like the northeast.
are leading that way.
Mm.
The dwarves live over there. I think these dwarves came from somewhere else.
Or whoever there.
Fuck!
Fuck! Fuck!
Fuck! Anyway.
That was a good pop right there.
I'm gonna go ahead and just assume, wild guess,
I hit
that
my
not all
soul.
orcs are just like, hey, what's up, dude? Come on over. Have a drink with me all the time.
Most... What are you talking about?
I mean, Addie's been really nice.
Most orcs aren't happy-go-lucky dudes.
Happy to like what I'm saying is like, it's like different groups coming together.
Mhm.
They don't always mingle because they're from different groups.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting at.
And so not all dwarves are the same.
Exactly.
Ah, yeah.
You said orcs.
You said orcs.
Yeah, no, I was trying to relate.
Okay.
So the guy.
Yeah.
Okay, alright,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what I was trying to get
He's
at.
know what you
just
brought. I
kind of
got
looking
you.
at you like, because he's probably the smartest orc there, but that doesn't really mean much,
Charlie
unfortunately.
Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the board just all the
Yeah,
Fucking
Pepe
wait.
Sylvia doesn't exist.
people are different, I swear.
I've got buckets full of Pepe.
He's giving a proof of how like they're different.
Anyway.
It's like, I think what we're dealing with is two groups of dwarves here. One is
Yeah.
I don't give a shit
That's
about
why
you
I said
dwarves.
fuck in that manner. I understand.
And then there's
Shut
other
the fuck
dwarves
up.
that are these are the fuck your wife dwarves. Over there, I put it that way.
Don't hide your kids, I do.
Is that the name of their clan? The fuck your wife clan?
We'll write that down. Yeah, we're gonna go with that for now.
Okay,
Great.
great.
Spookity wife.
Just fucking perfect. And
You could do it.
Spookity wife.
he like kicks one of the like the big bone supports for one of the tents, and it just collapses in on itself.
Are you abandoning this camp?
Yes.
That makes sense now.
Yeah.
Fire is no good.
Fire
Makes
back.
it a little unfortunate to be here any longer. Well, do you guys need anything else? Can we go now? Can you get the fuck out of our land now?
Oh, you said fuck? I'm not there.
Yes, we
Fine.
can get
I'm
as
not
you put
there.
it, the
Yeah.
fuck out of your land.
Great.
I've been talking to him this entire time in Orcish, by the way.
It's fine.
That is.
I
So
look
you
at
have no idea what's
I
going
have
on.
no idea. I speak common, primordial, and celestial. Like
The Oak Chieftain actually goes over and picks up one of the great axes, and he kind of hands it to you, like for your help. And then he kind of like he doesn't give you any more time. He just fucking leaves.
Yeah.
It's just like now get the hell out of here.
he likes you.
Go for
Noted. Thank you for your time, and thank you for ending this peacefully.
Yeah, don't get used to it.
Noted.
If it's any consolation, we're gonna fuck. I'm not there.
Don't shame grooms with unnecessary death.
Grooms loves death. What?
Proper deaths. Heroic deaths. Not
Death in battle is the most heroic you can get.
not when you fight poor little hill dwarves.
Those hill
Who
dwarves.
didn't do anything to fuck you. Stop.
Maybe they should have fucked you. Sorry, I'm not there.
You're not there.
Mary's
We're-
like,
we're-
I want to quip. I wish I could quip.
This is just gonna kind of guide Giannis and Adi like, we're gone.
Mary literally getting quiplash.
I just want to quip, Flash. Just want to quip.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's like, it's too bad my character just wants to own!
she really does.
This bone.
This
That
bone.
Okay, so unless you have anything more to say to the chief, then he's kind of like,
That's all we have.
Thank you for allowing us into your home. I wish you better luck.
Stop being so fucking nice. He yells it in common. He tells you to get the fuck out of here. It's goddamn insufferable.
The fuck.
You see, not all orcs are nice and want to go get a drink with you. Just
Kind
like not all dwarves
of,
are the same.
that was kind of a new experience.
Yeah. We need to find out where we can meet up with these motherfucker dwarves and try to suss out what the hell they're doing.
Well, are
Northeast, I
You
guess.
said they were probably not dwarves.
Northeast, I guess, because that's where they're
Did I
at.
say that?
You said that there was more light-footed.
No,
There are
also
There were
halflings.
dwarves, and then there were also dragonborn. There were also human, and there were also what
Smaller.
she thought were halflings.
No sense of kobold or anything like that.
No kobolds.
Oh my god, they're dwarf children.
That's a weird question. Let's say, would Duragar have different size stepping than?
Nope.
No. Okay.
They would just
Similar
be
to
like dwarves.
Okay. I know they could be a little bit more gaunt, you know,
Yeah, like
based on the
dragons,
vegetation of the Underdark.
I thought it was a puppy.
You wouldn't have much knowledge of
but
Durgar.
I wouldn't have any
Thought
shit.
it was a
No,
puppy.
no, yeah, I was just curious if that would.
I'm trying to think of if anyone would. No.
I doubt anybody here.
No,
has
none of
any
you would
Underdark
be
experience.
familiar with Durgar.
Yeah.
I was trying to think like, is there a check we could do? But there's no real reason any of you would know, so no. Alright. So you guys make your way back through the forest toward the hills. It's not hard to see. You can pretty much see the hills coming over the trees at this point. So you make your way back, and you can see the dwarves kind of like tossing dice on the road, just kind of like waiting, betting, and there's like a little, every so often there's like a way as somebody wins or whatever wager they're doing. And as they see you come out of the trees, they're like, Ace is like, is still has his armor on this, but what did you guys find? Anything important? We need to go bid on a hunting party?
We sussed out that it wasn't these dwarves, and that-
Really?
Yeah, it was led by a dragonborn.
Well, that does seem to lend itself right into our conclusion that our red dragon friend has been prowling about.
Mm-hmm. Whoever they are. Looks at Ace.
Ace is like, how are you looking at him? Like, what are you doing?
It's like, whoever they might happen to be. Perhaps a name.
Ace is like, if I knew their name, I would share it with you, friend. Trust me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were being devious. Never mind.
No, he's like, we legitimately don't know his name at the moment.
Okay. I thought with the first one he was like, we're not going to talk about this. That was the impression Dev
No,
got.
I mean, you can make an
God,
insight
it's
check on him if you
My
like.
third
but-
brother twice
Make an
removed,
insight
that motherfucker.
Yeah, go ahead. Make an insight check on Ace.
I believe it.
12.
He seems like he's telling the truth.
I know Ace.
Everybody knows Ace.
After everything we've done, they would give us more if they had it.
He would never lie to me.
Understood.
I've known him for
You
6
understand,
days.
the badge comes with natural skepticism.
This
I
fit.
know.
Yeah, you gonna fix him?
I'm gonna... Oh no.
I couldn't help myself, sorry.
But I'll hold up the hammer and I'll be like, we did resolve things peacefully though.
Great axe.
Great X.
Whatever
Sorry.
it is.
I don't know why in my head I corrected it with the hammer, but it was...
Because he had it, because one of the chiefs had a
Bludgeoning,
hammer, but
slashing, two
But
different
the
things.
the weapon that was given to you was a great axe, and it is very large. It is
so
about
like-
the size of you.
It's like...
Oof.
Yeah. What's your strength?
it's not... It's like a... What is
It's
it?
8.
It's not fantastic, okay?
So you would have
It's an 8.
you would have disadvantage to try and wield it
Yes. It would be-
because it is so large.
yeah.
But it's
I'm
it
more
is-
just thinking like it's a token. Like,
it literally is just like a token of appreciation.
Do you need some help with that?
What do you mean, bro? I'm good. I'm good.
You want to put it in his bag? Yeah. Good. Bag of holding.
Hey,
Okay.
hold on to this for me. Not because it's.
No,
I
you
got it.
clearly go with
I got it.
Now
Well,
keep
you
in mind.
really
You have
go
more
with
of a hand crossbow.
Well, hold on.
Under
How
pressure.
much is in the bag of holding already?
Not very much, actually.
Okay. As long as it's
The
as long as
biggest
you
thing
can
is the jars with vinegar in them.
Like just kind of throw it in there and then.
Your vinegar just taking up all.
Well, it's a 4x4 space, and that great axe probably is pushing 4 feet. So just
Put
be
it on
aware.
my
It would be like at an angle.
It's on my back with
No,
my spears.
yeah, no, it's fine. Just so you're aware, there is a
Just
limited
like
amount of
back.
space because that is a large item.
No, I'll just put it on my back.
Oh,
Yeah, you got
okay,
like
that works.
16
I've got
strength, so you
fucking
good.
16 strength. I'm good.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, easy.
I'm stupid, but I'm strong.
You currently
that for you.
Love that for you. It's funny that you are pretty high wisdom with very low intelligence.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Extremely high wisdom.
Fuck yeah.
Extremely low intelligence. We're talking Astrid versus Vassy.
Yeah, pretty much. Not that anyone would know what that is yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
They might.
No.
I mean, there might be people out there who just watch Strixhaven or just watch Strahd.
Yeah.
It might happen.
Let's go to the hypothetical future and believe this is.
It's true.
Hi, future me.
Hello, future.
Oh, do you have a shield?
All right.
Mm.
So, you guys have amazingly stopped this this skirmish between some dwarves and some orcs. It's giving you that's interesting. What else, do you guys want to say anything to the dwarves in particular, or are you guys ready to get going?
Other than, hey, we cleared your name. Hopefully you won't have any trouble.
Like I'll kind of give that synopsis there. Like we cleared your name. It seems to be another group that happened to have dwarves, and you shouldn't have any trouble with them, at least on this front here. But I'd suggest just trying to stay out of their business as much as possible. I don't know how.
Brunier's gonna be like, "You think we want more trouble with orcs? Did you see what he did to Hanok over there? He was crushed, and then he's fine now, but he got better, but still,
You got better.
he got
You
better."
got better. Totally understand. Totally get it. But yeah.
Yeah, you see Hanok like, "I got better."
I got better. No, it's
I
he
got-
got crushed. I got better.
I got better, yeah. And so, Brunier kind of like goes over to Giannis, because Giannis has kind of been the more vocal, I guess, kind of leader, but not necessarily, just like the most, like, I guess, good. Adi was up there, because Adi was also helping, but, Giannis has like the paladin armor and the shield and the trident, so he goes up to Giannis, he's like, "If you ever need help, please come to Dorgari. It's right past these hills. It's a little fortress. Don't tell anybody about it. Keep it on the down low. However, you guys never need a place to sleep or a place to stop in this area. Tell them Brunier sent you, and you will be welcomed with open arms. Us dwarves are known for our hospitality when we choose to give it."
It is very kind of you. We are just glad that we could stop this bloodshed. With that being said,
You and me both, friend. No more lives need to be lost today.
yes, they seem unsea still. So just be careful.
Well, we're all a bit antsy nowadays, aren't we?
Yes, I would stay more to your side of the hills, just to be careful.
You don't have to tell us twice. We prefer it that way.
These people that have been going around, they are trying to provoke chaos. Don't let them win.
It's a tough fight, but we'll be sure to keep an eye out.
If you ever need help as well, I'd like to offer the city of Cliffhaven.
We know Cliffhaven.
See them.
We get trade from there, from their sailing ships. Takes a bit of doing to get everything into our ports. And you kind of see him kind of like, it's not necessarily something that he's comfortable saying. Like, it's not something that they use a lot of clearly, but they do receive trade and news from Cliffhaven.
They have been attacked recently, like you.
We've heard.
And so,
Nasty little buggers, those gnolls. Much worse than orcs. Trust.
In my experience, people with like histories usually find each other to help and aid. So if anything else happens, you could ask for us there.
Okay. I thought you guys were heading to Ravendale.
We do not know how long we'll be there. It seems that most of our connection lies at Strixhaven. But
Okay.
we will be in Ravendale in the near future.
Understood, friend. He kind of like does the that kind of like handshake where he grabs your forearm.
Jonas Vudaxith, it is a pleasure to have met you.
Brunner would be just fine, thank you. And he just kind of like continues shaking your hand. Alright. Well, does anyone else have anything? Does anyone else have anything to say to the dwarves?
That is all.
Alright.
You're good? Great.
These are not the dwarves you were looking for.
As you guys kind of finish talking to the dwarves, you can see that a lot of the Pillars of Bahamut host has kind of congregated. You are unfortunately missing a couple people that none of the captains really give an explanation for.
Could have been more.
True, absolutely. If you guys had
Sorry, this is the pillars.
yeah, the pillars host like the army. Yeah, they've lost a few men, literally 2. So it could have been much worse. So after
We'll hold their service for them.
Ace kind of does a little bit of a moment of silence after everything is kind of calmed down. He had like a moment for our fallen, and he just kind of like has his sword, kind of rests it. He just kind of like nods his head for a few moments. It's like, okay, and like a bit more subdued than he usually is. Like, pillars forward, and then you hear the lock march step of the hosts one after another.
Supportive hand on back.
He doesn't seem super upset, but he appreciates it. You can kind of like see him like glance over at you.
Well.
Okay, so
It's day 2, right?
it was day 3.
That was day 3, sorry. Day 2 and then 3 was the battle.
3 was the battle,
Yeah.
and so you guys go through the rest of the day without too much of a disturbance. There's a bit more clouds because of all of the smoke that had gone up, so you can see like the remnants of that as you move forward, as the wind kind of like blows off the water towards the east. There isn't any other interactions that I'm thinking of. Is there anything you guys want to do in particular?
Roll for bone.
You're gonna bone down? Alright, bone down. Whisper and Ace are gonna go into Bone Town.
That was a good roll.
The 20!
17 plus 3.
Okay, well,
Non-natural.
okay.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
So it's
Ace,
a 20.
and Ace got a 14, so you actually outdo Ace this time.
Nip tuck.
I need
20.
to show him what's up.
Yeah, show him a good time.
I'm like, here, you've been doing a lot of work and you seem really tense. Let me take care of you.
Okay. Alright, so Whisper takes care of Ace's dick.
And honestly, I was pretty tense too.
Get the pillar.
So she's gonna follow the same
Ew.
kind of thing and find someone to help with her tension.
Okay.
I really resonate
You
with
gonna roll the bone die?
Sure, well the
There you go.
bone
Alright, let's go for a, just roll. Let's see what just happens. Let's just see what happens.
Wow! The bone
I
die!
get a
Alright, just
tent
take-
full of people.
Take your goddamn pick. How many people you want?
I'll take all of those
Holy shit.
half creatures now. The half wolves, the half humans, the half.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
I
gonna
was
have
kidding.
a half
Okay.
party.
Does the word bukkake mean anything?
Oh my god.
I was
Just
kidding.
get down and dirty.
God.
Have a dwarf party.
There's gonna be no tension in the entire group ever again.
Those dwarves are gonna remember the orcs today.
Oh God.
Gonna take all the dwarves.
Okay.
Sure.
Cause they
Congratulations.
rock hard!
Congratulations on your fucking whatever it is you want to
Orgy?
do. Whatever you want to do. Is it an orgy? We don't know.
Why not?
Jonas is trying to pray.
You're having an extremely difficult time. There is a lot of noise going on right now.
Addie goes ahead and gives this whole praying thing a try, since religious people are meant to pray with all the other people in the room.
Like as they're just fucking going at
She's
it.
not really praying.
Like, Dez is gonna like come over to Jonas and just be like, why is their armor clinking? Like what in the?
There's no way that you don't know what's happening.
No, it's more just like, it's not that I don't know that there's sex happening. It's more that just like, why is there the clinking of armor amidst the sex?
They didn't take off their boots.
I'm so good. It's just like the
I really hope Ace didn't take off his boots.
If you ask him not to, he won't. But you may have to make a Constitution saving throw at the end.
Fucking
Make a
Constitution.
Constitution saving throw.
It's happening. Another fucking time.
What?
What is this die? Is it loaded?
Is this a loaded bone die?
It's a loaded bone.
Dice too.
Loaded.
Oh
Boom.
gosh.
I'm pretty sure by the time they're in Ravendale, they will be married.
Yeah, at this point.
Like, holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, well, there you go.
Oh my god.
The dice have spoken.
Oh my god.
Orgies and weird kinky haste.
Is it weird?
Yeah, just
Boots of
fucking
haste sex?
Yeah, basically.
Jesus.
just pile drive.
He's really going at her with that greatsword.
I thought you were taking control
Let
this
me
time.
show
I am.
you. Let me show you the Batista bomb.
You got the boots of haste for a second.
They're attuned to him, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's fine.
They're
I mean, I could probably.
surgically welded to his.
Not even
They're not surgically welded to his feet. They just didn't want to bother doing the long rest and trying to tune them to her just so they could fuck tomorrow.
Fucking
long rest? I
not
thought
safe
you
for
only had
work.
to short
Doodle
rest
tier
for
and
doing
Patreon.
What is it?
She has
I
to
thought you only had to short rest for 10 minutes.
I think that's a house rule for John.
I honestly don't
I
remember.
have no idea.
I
just have to
I
sit
gotta
there and sniff the boot.
What? What are you doing now?
He's a feet guy.
to
Yeah, you want
attune
more
to-
feet? This is how you acquire feet.
Congratulations. You have feet. Oh my god.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Anyway, that's night 3.
What can night 4 hold?
Is there anything anyone wants to do besides bone?
I'm occupied.
I'm a little busy.
Okay.
I'm good.
Just praying.
Painting and praying.
That's what Audie's doing.
P and P.
Or at least that's what's being done in Audie's tent, I guess.
Allegedly.
We'll just keep that roll for the rest of the night. And y'all are just having
Session
a great
1, 2,
fucking
3,
time.
and 4.
Y'all just joined at the goddamn hip.
Dez is gonna wake up early and go for like a light hunt to then bring stuff like for breakfast.
Okay, you and a couple other of the more nimble hosts are going to go out and you find them along with you hunting for boar and hunting for game and other things like that. Nothing too large has really wandered away because it's a fairly large amount of people. Most of the deer and such are a bit too skittish to be anywhere near you. So yeah, go ahead and make a survival check. Short rest. Is it a short rest?
Like
Alright.
1 hour.
My
Oh,
best.
well then, yeah, go ahead.
12.
12? Okay. You find a couple squirrels that you shoot with your crossbow and bring back and to roast them over the fire for a little bit of a hearty breakfast. So yeah, if you wanted to convince him to give you the boots of haste, you could do that.
Just for the night.
For the night?
Yeah, just so that
Okay. Yeah, maybe I will.
Go read it to
make a persuasion roll.
I'm not gonna use the bone. I really want to.
Yes, he might
You're
just be
gonna
like the
roll
boots
less than
stay
a
on.
10 now.
I'll use the
I was
bone.
about to say.
Oh!
And it's less than a 10.
Yeah, it's less than 10.
I was like, hey, you know, I can make this real interesting if you want.
Well, let me see what he rolls.
Fucking 8.
8? Okay, let's see what he
Getting
rolls.
used to the boots, you know?
He rolled a 3, so yeah, you go. He's like, yeah, all right, sure, why not? Let's see what you can do.
You guys did some really kinky
Rock
shit.
his world.
Really kinky shit that you both were really uncomfortable with.
Oh no!
Yeah.
With those
rolls.
With those rolls. Well, okay, I see what you're
You
saying.
see what I'm saying? They were both so low that like you took charge, but did you guys like it?
No.
That was just persuasion.
That was just to persuade him
Oh.
to give you the things. The
Okay.
actual
We
rolls
rolled
were
really well. for
Okay,
this act.
okay, so
Yeah, the
second
section
phase.
was actually really good. They had a good time. Whisper's just like had her first a little bit of haste. Now, keep in mind, after you use the haste, you get super tired.
Oh yeah.
So you're just like, you guys just go hard and then are out.
Only
Just
for like a
fucking
couple seconds. Though.
Rocking his world
What's that?
out.
It's only for like
Sleep.
one round that you
No,
get
haste.
You're
exhausted.
thinking of the spell haste, not the boots of haste, which give you 10 minutes
10 minutes.
of haste.
Yeah.
So you were pretty much just like,
Exhausted.
and now, and like
10-minute hyper session, then death.
well, I mean,
Listen,
if that's what you're into.
I'm not mad about it. It was great.
Anyway, moving on to now the 5th day. It's usually you would have made it to Ravendale, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Usually you would have made it to Ravendale by now, but the investigation and the battle has kind of held you guys up. So it will be a 5th night before you get into Ravendale. However, now that you've gotten this far north, it's gotten a little bit colder. The hills have become pretty much almost mountains. And to the north, you see an actual tried and true mountain range where like you can see the swirling clouds up top as they kind of try and weave their way through the mountains. Sometimes without success, and you can see some roll and then like continue to roll in darker and darker before they kind of dissipate again.
Snow or no snow? Or...
There's snow all over the tops of the mountains, but there's no snow currently on the ground where you are.
Okay.
There's just
Becoming more rocky in terrain, I'm guessing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Less
definitely
vegetation.
become more arboreal and less
Yeah.
like a forest, more that's like a thick woods.
Yeah.
Where like the tops of the trees, if you go much farther north, you start to see some snow that's just kind of like there. And then to the west, to the northwest, you can see the large bridge that's attached to one a bit of a darker city that's got like a bit more contemporary architecture that you guys are aware of. And you can see like little lights kind of flickering along it. You can't necessarily see into like windows, but you can see that there are lights there. And then across the thing over more towards the west, you can see like a bright white, like almost marble, like a wall that surrounds another city. With you can see white spires poking up a little bit through. It's not nearly as grandiose or like impressive as a city, but it's stark white and very well defended. And then as it goes farther north, you can see these extremely pointed, jagged spires of stone that like some people might call a mountain, but it's more like just somebody threw a giant spear of rock into the ground, and it just goes straight up, like almost like to a point. And like a few of them have collapsed and fallen, but that's what they used to look like. And at the very end, you see a massive conal mountain with wisps coming off out the top as it kind of billows and more moisture gets thrown into the air and swirled around. You guys all kind of see this vista around you. Kind of appreciate it's very pretty, it's very like naturally beautiful, and it's an interesting little intersection of where man has decided to place two almost sisterly cities across from each other in a very unhospitable kind of location. But this is you can see as you go along the water a lot of boats flowing into Ravendale and coming out, and there's just seems to be even now at night where you would think like, because in Cliffhaven you didn't see things happening in that very often because the Arbor Chill was a very real danger. Now they just seem to be carrying on as normal. even into the very dark twilight hours. There's always seems to be some kind of noise going on that you can barely make out in the distance. Nothing ever seems to be completely quiet, and you always kind of miss the sounds of the animals and the birds and various insects that have usually been accompanying you on these campouts, but not so much at this point. And as you guys all kind of head into the camp for the night, it's a good place for us to kind of wrap it up for the night. Didn't quite get to the part where we can reveal the name of the campaign yet, but guarantee 100% next time we'll have that reveal. And you guys did a really good job of making sure that everything got resolved peacefully. I had quite a few different ways that this could go, and I can't say that this was one of the ones that I anticipated it would. I figured somebody was going to have to
take a side.
someone was going to take a side.
Yeah.
But there was some good rolls and some good role playing, and can't punish that. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was just ready to stab a bunch of stuff, and my party was like, "Wait!" And I was like,
Yeah.
"I've already killed one."
So you got a lot of goodwill with the dwarves of Dorgari. You have Dorgari, Dorgari.
See, I tried to spell it like the Drurgar or whatever.
Yeah.
It was wrong.
And you've got some goodwill with the orc clans of the northern forest. So you guys have made some friends today, which is never a bad thing to have.
No.
D-O-R-G-A-R-I. It might have been a lot.
Not a lot of dice rolling this session in particular.
Speak for yourself.
There was a lot of role playing. There wasn't a lot of instances where like we weren't sure what would happen, or I wasn't sure what was going to happen if you guys did a thing. So, but I will say this: when you guys did do a thing, you did it pretty good. A lot of high rolls today. All right. So, next session, I believe we're doing Strixhaven.
Yeah, and the way this is set up is that they'll be in their own playlist, so they can watch them in whatever order they want.
So there's not going to be a...
So for you, next time is just the next
episode you watch?
Redacted.
Yeah.
All
Redacted.
Right. Well, then next time on Campaign Redacted, we will no longer have Campaign Redacted. We will instead have the actual name of it, and unfortunately, and I think even now, as you're watching this, you will see the name of it on there because we're going to have a little bit of a backlog. We're going to have a little bit of a buffer for us. So anytime that we need to, have a life at some point, God forbid, we'll actually have the ability to push it through, and that means that once we actually release everything, everyone will know the name of the campaign, which
it won't have to be redacted.
It won't have to be a campaign redacted.
Still fun to it.
Special thanks for Sidescape. We didn't use a whole lot of things for this campaign, but they're really, really great. We recommend them for your table.
Alright. Thanks to anybody who's decided to help us on Patreon, even if that's really nobody yet, but if you do, then you came back to watch our first session. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Campaign Redacted.
Campaign Redacted.
Lizards and locations.